Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. It's a Feel Good Friday. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. We got WWE Smackdown and AEW Rampage to cover tonight. We're going to get into all of it. We are your alternative commentary, and it's going to be a fun one. Randy Orton's coming back. Lots going on. Tons of matches on Rampage. It's an interesting one. But we will talk all about it tonight, folks. So grab your snacks. Grab your feel good, put a smile on your face. We're going to have a fun one. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We're live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is a Feel Good Friday. We got lots to talk about, lots to get into, lots of buzz around the wrestling world. It seems to be at a fever pitch. And happy December to everybody out there. I hope you're happy.
Boo.
The Grinch is upon us. But
Right.
folks, we're going to get into all the action. As I mentioned, we are the alternative commentary to all the wrestling. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Be a part of the family. But I will remind everybody that I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. And that is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream, Champions of the World, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I'm Big Nick, and whoa, we got a lot of things to talk about in pro wrestling tonight. If you got that. But yeah, 100% Feel Good Friday. We've got Randy Orton coming back on his revenge tour. I will have my revenge against the Bloodline.
Absolutely. He's ready to go. And there's already clips going around the internet of Randy arriving at the arena. So obviously a big deal. I know a lot of talk has been about Mr. Phil Brooks over the last little bit here, but let's not overlook the fact that one of the best that ever did it is back. And I'm really excited. He's jacked. He's swole, RKO.
He's on the juice. He's on the juice.
Looking good. Ready. All that rehab on his back seemed to pay
ready
off.
for when Brock shows up again.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, he's going to look a little different, actually, standing face to face with somebody like Roman Reigns at some point because of the size.
But I think that's what's really going to make this work. I know there's been a lot of talk about CM Punk versus Roman. I've seen talk about that already, that's the potential long-term plan, as well as maybe Austin. Why? But I don't know.
Let's go.
But it could be Heyman turns and joins Punk. Punk turns heel. Roman turns babyface. All of that. To me, the match I'm most excited for is honestly Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, because they both are big motherfuckers at this point. And they know how to work. They've got history together. It's to me, I think it's going to go back to that Roman walking somebody down. And Randy, all he has to do, you have to give him a split-second opening. He gets an RKO, and the crowd pops. Everybody loses their mind. Yeah. And you're right back in it.
No, absolutely. And again, it was good to see him come back. I rewatched Survivor Series for a couple reasons. And, I mean, again, it can't be understated what he means, the pack. Like, when he came out, they weren't chanting CM Punk. They were chanting RKO. They were thrilled to see him. The way they set it up, the way they did it. And again, you can't really, hey, RKO's back and then stick him in a cage and for 5 minutes or 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
That's what we were worried about.
Right? You find a way around it. So they did find a way around keeping him out of the cage. He was late. And again, it worked. It played well. And I agree with you. Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns has a lot of buzz to it. I like it a lot. This idea of a double turn doesn't appeal to me. I don't think it's going to work. And I really do think that we're going to get CM Punk and Seth sooner than later.
Oh, I think that's the opening match out of the gate here. But I did like who's right there beneath me there. And your doppelganger, Kevin Owens, said when they asked him about Punk coming back, he had very few words. He just, it is what it is. But when we got asked about Randy coming back, man had a whole paragraph quote about how much it's great to have him in the locker room, him, being involved right now, and everybody being that, tree of wisdom that you can sit under. If you're a guy like a Grayson Waller, if you're a lot of these guys that have just got moved up to the main roster, now you have Randy back that you can talk to again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I understand, like, with Kevin Owens, you're looking at two different things here. One, I mean, he is friends with a lot of people that that Punk doesn't like.
Facts.
Two, he didn't really have the exposure to CM Punk on a personal level, I think, the way he did with Randy Orton. So,
Have they ever been in the same company at the same time?
I was trying to think if any of their, like, Ring of Honor, I feel like Punk was gone before KO got there. I think WWE, I don't
Would
think
KO
so.
have been in NXT then? That would have been probably the most that he would have been around when
Yeah,
Punk was there.
but I think that Seth was champion when Punk was still kicking around in NXT. So yeah, I don't know if there was much crossover between him and KO. So, and KO, a good answer as far as, like, if he's here to have fun, I'm down, man. Like a very Canadian answer of, like, let's have a good time, eh?
Right. Well, speaking of having a good time, do we want to talk to the peoples here while we're having a good time before the show?
Say hello to the people.
We got EQ saying, "I tombstone pile drive that like button." Yes, right now I see we're at 132 likes right now as
Crazy.
we're 8 minutes in, which is amazing. Appreciate all the love on the channel lately. Shorts, videos, everything blowing up. We just passed subscribers. So shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all.
There you go. There you go.
And Steven guessing Orton versus either Jimmy or Solo tonight, depending on the Good Brothers. Why the Good Brothers?
Good Brothers are rumored to be in the building tonight, my guy.
So then do we get AJ Styles?
I hope so. I mean, AJ's been kind of quiet. I don't believe he's still injured. He came back from said injury, and then they were like, we don't know. So
yeah, we don't got much for you right now.
So that very intriguing. The Good Brothers returning, AJ returning. I mean, I still think there's an appetite for AJ Roman in a way.
That's the real statement here, I guess, is that we're already buzzing coming out of Survivor Series with, we got Punk back, we got Randy back, and it's only up to go here. We're already just going to the moon after this here, because we've now got nothing but Royal Rumble ahead of us. Following that, we've got WrestleMania. We've got nothing but downhill slope as booking goes, as things are gonna be picking up pace quite fucking quick.
Yeah.
But it's all gonna be fantastic stories.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I equate it to what we're witnessing right now in wrestling to what we had when we were young, like during the heyday, the Attitude Era, when everything was buzzing. It was, and you hear every wrestler talk about it. You hear every expert talk about it. Of every segment was people you wanted to see, whether it was a fucking Al Snow, Steve Blackman segment, Val Venus and his PP. Like, there was always something. Choppy. There was always something each segment to look into. Like, you have like Rock, This Is Your Life opening a show, and then you have Austin and Undertaker pissed off at each other in the main event. That's what this is starting to feel like, where you're going to get Cody and somebody, in the middle of the card.
Cody and Nakamura,
yeah,
could be on the same show as we're getting Roman and Punk, or Roman and Randy. Yeah. As we've got Seth and Punk. Those three matches alone could be a whole fucking pay-per-view. Those could all be insane. A main event of a Mania, I feel. And they could just be on like a Backlash.
Yeah, and I agree what you touched on is, like, we're gearing up. We're essentially on the cusp of WrestleMania season. Like, literally, we're building towards Rumble right now. This sets up to be one of the craziest Rumbles in the history of the Rumbles. I can't wait, because there's yes.
Sorry, I was going to let you finish. That's why I put my hand up. I was just going to say, I personally, and I'll publicly say it out there, and just so that way we have to do it at some point, is do a tiers list of who we think's going to win the Rumble, like maybe like a top 5 or so.
Well, remember,
because you got a whole list. All right, go ahead.
Remember, we did that last year of like who was going to be in the Rumble, and there was like 8 guys. We were completely like they weren't there, and we did the points. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think you've got a chance that Cody could win it. Cody might lose out here. He's going to be the tale of the never-ending story here. That thing might never get finished. Almost like us going through the chat. Then Randy could win it. Punk could win it if he's in it. Outside shot Nakamura, Drew. Already right there.
And then beyond that, it's who's going to be actually in it, who's coming back, who's not coming back. Will that be Jade's debut? Becky Lynch is consistently a favorite to win the Rumble. There, you have the dude. What?
Sorry, could that be an Okada debut?
Maybe. I don't much care about Okada, though, to be 100% honest.
Fair enough.
Hey, you might like him. I mean, you can say otherwise. Okada coming in, I don't think the fans in the building are going to be like, oh my God, it's that guy. But at the same time, I think that, yeah, Okada could debut there 100%. Like, that's a good spot for him, whether I like him or not.
Fair enough. Sorry.
Not a problem. Sorry, I wanted to, where were we? Bonkers, how you doing? Mackenzie Mitchell got released from NXT. Yeah, facts.
Who?
Mackenzie Mitchell.
I know. I heard the name. I read it. When I saw this, I won't lie, respectfully. Who?
Yeah. So, I mean, I liked Mackenzie. She was all right, but no offense to her, they kind of do go in and out. We've had a lot of people that do, can do or have done what Mackenzie does. It's so funny when people just like jump on and they're like instantly ready to be mad about again, it is what it is. They hired Jackie Redmond. I think you'll see her more. You still got Byron running around back there.
They've kind of almost at times become almost interchangeable. Like, let's be honest, we didn't really remember Kevin Patrick's name until he became a staple on the commentary table, and we just hated it so much, so we learned it just out of spite.
Pretty much.
Right. So that's why, no offense to the lady, but that's why I'm like, who? I'm not gonna miss the Mackenzie Mitchell segments. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not going to change the show in any way, drastically. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing? Looking forward to the return of Randy. Big Joe says show has been canceled. The show never gets canceled, especially around here. It's always a show, my guy. But thanks for showing up.
Yeah, you show up and show out because that's what the show's about.
Like sitting out there, go like, I want to contribute to the chat. What should I say?
Of all the words, I keep going back to the quote, of all them flavors, you chose to be salty.
Yeah, so funny. But what's up, KJ and Nick? Steve, Elimination Chamber in the house. Welcome back, Chambers. How you doing? I love that you're still rocking that name we gave you.
Right.
C reports Anderson and Gallows are back tonight. Yes, we just kind of touched on that. Yes.
Right. Keyshawn, real quick. Well, I did want to touch, shout out, but I wanted to touch on this one because you were talking about Becky. Jade shows up in the Rumble. Do you think, says Rufus here, do you think AJ Lee is returning at the Royal Rumble? Do we see AJ Lee back in WWE outside of maybe a Hall of Fame?
I think it's highly possible. I think it's very possible. I still believe that Sasha Banks is in the works. Again, another one of why would we let her go there? Let's just lock her up. We'll figure it out. She's a big star. We'll take her. And she's getting ready. She's coming. But AJ Lee, I think, would be fun. And even if it was maybe a Rumble appearance, maybe a little like kind of a Trish Stratus run into Mania where you give her the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm all for it. I don't know what her mindset is right now, but again, when your husband throws your name out on TV, and I'm sure she was watching, and you hear that pop in the arena, you start thinking,
might turn into Tyrone Biggums. You get that itch there a little bit. Right. But what about even say a Mickey James? That's, to me, I think I would put Mickey more likely than
I would. Yeah,
AJ, just because of hubby. But
I would put more money on Mickey. No, not just hubby though. She's been more, she's active. She,
right.
up until recently, she was doing what she does. I mean, there's always that level of apprehension when you've been away from it for so long, like AJ, that, again, it takes a little more time to kind of talk you back into it. I really think Mickey's going to make an appearance. I could see Mickey having a run. I love Mickey. Big fan.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
I'll take some hardcore country. Shout out to Big Nick there, the one that works for Smackdown. Who
wait, hold on. Don't get me no entanglement. My name is not August. It's December, my guy, not August.
Right. Rumors. Have you heard these rumors? These are rampant. And I know you joked about it earlier, so I know the answer. But how do you feel about this? Yeah, no, you're gonna be twitching.
Yeah, if it happens, I'll be like that little kid from like the Minions movie. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I know when we make the comparable and people, the marks get all like excited of like dream match, fucking Vikingo versus Kenny. This to me is a wet dream match. Like, come on now.
But how much can Steve still go? Respectfully.
Doesn't matter.
He's got to just,
You
you
can't.
know, be able to take an Irish whip, hit a fucking Luthez press, and a stunner.
Stomps in the corner, buddy.
Stomps,
punches,
double bird punch.
Right?
Yeah.
Punch, kick to the midsection.
You'd have to sell it a bit, though. If Punk would have to lead that dance. Nah.
Oh, I think so. And I mean, I don't. If they book it, these guys are going to do some business. But
would Punk want to go? This is going to getting weird to say, but would Punk want to go under Steve?
Yeah, he wouldn't. Steve would let him go over. I'm pretty confident in that.
Fair enough.
No, I can't say for certain.
I was going to say, he kicks out of a stunner. You're CM Punk and you kick out of a Stone Cold Stunner and say this has to happen at a WrestleMania.
I know. Now here's the funny part.
That you're Stone Cold and you're looking up at the lights after I go to sleep.
Yeah. What if? So here's a funny sideline to all this, Nick. Is imagine going to Punk. He's come back to the company, and you're like, listen, Seth is going to take on whoever, Drew. I don't care who, and Roman's going to take on Cody. Those are our main events for WrestleMania. But you're going to fight Stone Cold. Does he feel about Stone Cold like he felt about The Undertaker? And that's not my main event.
It's not the main event.
Fuck's sake, Hunter, you did it to me again.
Right, you did the same shit. Oh, my God. And that's where we get the brawl out at Mania.
Right. Then we get
the Philly Phil special.
Right. Well, you'd have to put that undefeated record on the line.
That backstage locker room record is fucking taking an L hard, my guy.
Yeah.
You're getting punched out. Wrestling is bullshit. Shout out, I think I've seen you on Insta, but random thoughts on Ring of Honor Final Battle. I haven't seen too much announced for it outside of Athena versus Lady Frost, which I'm excited for. Go Lady Frost. But
no, I think it's Athena versus Billy.
I thought I saw Lady Frost.
Here's the thing about Ring of Honor Final Battle.
That tells you how much we know about what's been going on because how much they've really mentioned it.
Yeah, no. So they no, and in all fairness, dude, I saw a clip today. That's the only reason why I can rebut that a little bit. But
no, that's fine. Because I saw to where Billy Starks was not the valedictorian of Minion University there.
Yeah, so she was mad, and then so they've broken up. That is really Dalton Castle versus Commander.
You are correct, by the way. Sorry.
Yes, versus to be determined, versus to be determined, versus to be determined, versus to be
TBD.
So we're having a Ring of Honor World Television Championship Survival of the Fittest match with 7 people.
Is AEW as a whole starting to move to fuck the stories? We're gonna go and base our shit on match quality. Which to the American audience that doesn't really watch New Japan outside of once in a blue moon, that's what they see New Japan as, and everything. That maybe they just realize we can't do stories, we can't book shit, so now we're just gonna have really great matches.
I would think, but based on this week's Dynamite, no, because the MJF stuff. I actually thought Dynamite had a little more story to it than it has this week. I thought it brought a little bit of, Adam Copeland and Christian. I mean, that's, a story written in another company.
Yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's next. I'm waiting for someone to drop the C word. Like, just straight out.
Do we actually get ding, ding, bell ring between Edge and Christian this week?
I see. Part of me thinks no, some type of it. The match starts, but ends up being a brawl. I can't imagine you wouldn't be saving the showdown between these two for World's End. I can't imagine you'd give it away on free TV.
Well, if they've done shit like that before, that's why we have to ask. But it'd be a terrible booking decision. I think you get. And I hate that I have to remember his name like this now. Kill Switch. There, Luchasaurus, Lucha Kane. What have you done to my boy?
You named him Kill Switch and then watched him get killed right in front of you.
It was seriously, they castrated that man publicly. But I think he comes out attacks Adam Copeland, all of that. We get Nick Wayne, we get a kerfuffle before we ever get Ding Ding. Or if you were here last night, Bill Ding.
Edge misses match due to Nick Wayne's mom.
Yes, got it going on.
But
he's taking the Corey Perry route.
Right. Oh shit, yes. Not too soon.
No, never too soon.
Right. I think with Ring of Honor, here's the thing. It feels like an afterthought. And let's be realistic. Wrestling is BS. I don't know. I mean, did you watch, any of the Dynamites of recent? If you have they talked about it much? No. Is it been referenced much? No. Like, will MJF and Adam Cole, wink, wink, defend the Ring of Honor titles at Final Battle? Nope. Will the World Heavyweight title be on the line? Nope. It's part of the Continental Classic. Like, this is a big hole.
Fuck. I just really, like, that really just hit home right there, because I know I was like, damn, with the Continental Classic, we're losing the New Japan Strong title, which, the New Japan US title has been the best representation of New Japan in the US, I feel. But you are losing 100%, just like I just lost KJ there. You're losing your staple, your Ring of Honor World Championship, something that has that much lineage, that is held in such a regard, that it now just gets swallowed up into whatever Global Force Wrestling fucking Jeff Jarrett title that Tony Khan comes up with now.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. People can debate, Nick, some of the stories or some of the wrestling or Tony Khan's booking or the overall success of the company, which one of the things we can talk about is the revenue. But you can debate all that. Fine. I don't think many can debate what you thought Ring of Honor was going to be and what it has become is night and day. Like, they're not even resembling. No. It became Ring of Honor dark. And I think Tony's missing a huge opportunity here, because Ring of Honor could really be his NXT, where you take Nick Wayne, and instead of fucking around with Edge, who looks like his father and could be, and you put him in Ring of Honor, and you let him groom and get better. You take that young, viable future that you think you have, and you cultivate it. And he hasn't done it.
You get the hell away from Rampagia, and you just make that your Ring of Honor show. And it goes on, like, I know Anthony was, lighting the beacons there for bringing back Sunday Night Heat when it comes to WWE. But we've said that for the longest time. You really need to chop one of these shows and make it an out and outright, like you said perfectly, your NXT, your developmental. That's the reason why Jade's still taking time in WWE's developmental, because she had no developmental.
Politely said, nobody taught this woman shit.
Right. She ain't no shit.
We knew she was green. We didn't know she was fucking green as the grass.
Her name's Jade. We thought that was just her name, not how green she was.
Now, I feel like this is the last ring. That's an interesting take. That, could Tony pack it in? Not worth it. I think he doesn't seem to pay attention to it. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's very valid. Like you even said, of the Ring of Honor World Championship is now going to be swallowed up. So what's your main title on Ring of Honor? Your TV title?
Athena Billy Starks is your big title. Where Athena should be on Dynamite, and Billy Starks should be fighting one of the Renegade sisters or something, like that young talent. Like
Billy Starks should be in NXT if we're going to keep it a buck. But
if Billy Starks going to NXT would be great for her. But again, I think that's when Tony Khan came out that night and he was all fucking amped up, and I love this company. If you loved Ring of Honor so much, bro, you're what you told the fan base was, I'm going to honor the sanctity of it. And apparently what he meant by that was, I'm going to give you one more kind of nostalgic match here with Christopher Daniels and was it Jay Lethal? And then we're going to forget about Ring of Honor. And that's essentially what happened. And he didn't live up to his word with this one at all.
Who disrespected the property that they bought more? Vince McMahon, when he bought and put ECW on Sci-Fi and the opening match was a zombie coming out, or Tony Khan with Ring of Honor, because they both just kind of respectfully feel kind of hot-tweed on what they just bought.
Yeah.
You had just the video catalog alone of Ring of Honor.
Yep. And I'm a Ring of Honor.
What was its value? Ring of Honor was at the point it was WCW of it had its name and it had its video catalog, because half the wrestlers had just been able to go wherever they wanted. They ended up in Ring of AEW. That was really the value of Ring of Honor. And then so you bring it in and just hot tweet all over it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you hit the nail on the head with kind of how WWE took it. And I'm an Honor Club member. I love the library. I love it. But I don't really tune in on Thursdays for Ring of Honor. It became a lot of dark matches, and that's essentially it.
Right. As we got 3 minutes before the show, everybody's just reminding me now of ECW on Sci-Fi was my jam. ECW on Sci-Fi was hot. So
some people love it.
Alternating opinions there.
Right. So what's up with Ric Flair? We will get to this later in the show. Remind us.
Rampage.
Yeah, or during Rampage, we might talk about it. Yeah, we are here for both shows.
Well, if he's on Rampage.
If you haven't hit like or subscribe yet, please make sure you do so. Make sure you get in this chat. We're a couple minutes away from kicking this all off. I'll sync up with you, Nick, when we get a moment. Right now, I'm getting a replay of Punk's promo from Monday.
I am getting the end of TMZ. What? We won't see any QTV anymore on AEW. Speaking of Punk,
not a bad thing. And listen, whoever's fucking mad about this situation and trying to put it on Punk wasn't wrong. It fucking sucked. So for the fans, we didn't have to endure it. Get the fuck out of here.
I saw some people putting out there if Punk did one last heroic effort on his way.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it.
Good deed in AEW.
I'm not mad at the fact that Punk was like, no, we're not doing QTV.
No QTV? You can have that. That ain't even what I'm mad at.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, last thought on that. Yeah, the compromise with Tony Khan on Ring of Honor is call it Ring of Honor Rampage. You get best of both worlds, Tony. And we don't even care if you tape it. That's our compromise. Just do the fucking show. Right. OVW is what Ring of Honor should be. A low budget Ring of Honor, which is hard to say out loud.
Everybody's high on OVW because of Netflix. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
No one gave two shits about OVW until Netflix came calling.
Well, and let's be real. Even when you watch the series, which I have, I mean, you see that whole scene that they took all night to film and then they showed it and they were like, we're so proud. You're like, come on now. There's a rubber pig.
They're the innings.
Yeah, it feels that way. Apparently, Big Nick, Denver or Houston.
KJ, Houston or Denver.
Oh, fuck. I really wanted Houston to pull this one out. Denver's been a funny team this year, definitely overachieving. So, Houston.
I was going to say, I'll take Houston as for my NFC team, I'll say Seattle Seahawks. Granted, everything went sideways last night. Yeah, no, when you're a Bills fan, you got to have a secondary team, respectfully.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'm looking forward to Niners and Philly this week. It's going to burn.
See, at least I can't have, a fucking heart attack moment here because the Bills are on a bye week, so I'm good.
I got then. I get Bret Hart and then.
I got Andre getting slammed. I got it then now.
What's up, Tony?
Now I got Hart.
Nick's just catching up, and we're going to be rolling.
Now I'm right there now.
You got then?
Forever.
Oh, what the?
I told you that. I said then.
Did I have now then?
I said then multiple times. Brad, you can agree with me. I said then. I said I got Andre. I got then. I said I got Hart. Everything.
I was like, who's Andre? Oh, wait. Let me catch up. What do you got now?
I got the crowd shots.
Oh, yeah, I got the crowd shots too. And the little.
We've got Kevin Patrick welcoming us in to Friday Night Smackdown, and instantly, this is why we exist, folks. This is why we are the alternative commentary for your pro wrestling needs. You can just watch the action, put them on mute, and just listen to us 100%. But be a friend, tell a friend, share, subscribe. Killing the game right now and still fresh out the gate, still growing. So 100% appreciate everybody that's here tonight.
What I love about this is the Viper strikes. The Fox always
What?
has like the hang on the taglines, man. I'm
Yeah,
on
it
my
sounds
own against the wall.
seductive. The Viper strikes. That sounds like
Provocative.
your mom and your grandmother might have that on a bookshelf.
As
I've got
Bianca
Bianca Belair
Belair.
coming out right now.
Yeah. Your thoughts on that 25 power ranking? Was it bad? Was it good? Bad? What's up? Not right now.
I know he dropped it in Discord.
Yeah, I saw it.
Maybe I'll look at it when we're not on stream, my guy. But yeah, right now, kind of watching the show.
A little busy, my guy.
A little bit. You see what I'm doing here.
As we're getting a replay from last Saturday, a little more War Pigs for everybody.
Pause. So is this where you want to bring up about what you mentioned in our chat and everything, how this was the women's Survivor Series match was the most viewed opening match. I think it was of 2023.
I believe it was 2020 or forever on Peacock, other than WrestleMania.
Fair enough.
It was a good one.
Well, if I knew a NASCAR race was going to start off with a car crash, and it also just so happened to be the most viewed NASCAR race of all time, I'm sure the opening car crash would get a lot of views. And that's not putting any gender on it.
So you're saying if you knew there was a car crash, there would be more views. I agree. Let's
go. No, I'm saying that's why there was the views, is because we knew it was going to be a car crash, multi-car pileup.
Exactly. And that's what they wanted, the views. But nice try. But yeah, they accomplished their goal. The car crash
power in that, though, you kind of can't. I mean, I got Becky, you got Charlotte.
But no, it was good. It was good. I mean, there's Charlotte on the top of the cage about to hit a moonsault. The EO spot with the garbage can. I like the little, here's, tie this to your chain.
I just like Oscar the Grouch coming off the cage. Like that. Can you take me higher?
Oscar, you're a grouch.
I can't defend it at this point. I've been outmanned and outgunned.
Yeah, on this one, it's just...
I can't go full cornet. Never go full cornet.
Yeah, they need to replace Embrace Ring of Dark as the new... Ring of Honor is the new Dark. Keep the title matches off Dynamite and keep them on the Ring of Honor. Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome, Ronin, Tavon, Safit, Daniel, MDB, Dale, Tony, Boston.
That is the best, one of arguably the best shots of Survivor Series is all four of them on top of the cage.
Yeah.
We just have a passion for people on top of cages here. We just don't champion Wardlow celebrating up that. That was the peak of Wardlow. It was all downhill from there. So I have Bianca right now in the ring about to cut a promo.
Ooh, about that.
Brooklyn. I forgot they're in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Where Brooklyn at? I told 7 Mega about 38 now. Boston, they should rename it the Glory in a State of what? I don't get that reference.
No, me either.
Putting Punk last was smart booking, knowing everyone was tuning to hear Punk. It made you watch the entire episode of Raw last night. We're gonna get to that at some point, I guess. Then no,
we've debated it to death
multiple times.
At the end of the day, the numbers are what they are, and it is what it is. Smile Mark, I like it. I agree. Nick,
give it 3 weeks, and I'll finally agree that KJ was right.
I
did with the women's match, I guess, tonight.
Yeah.
She wants her title back.
And here comes EO.
But do you think that a lot of what we've seen kind of floating around, that we're going to end up with a halfway a 4 horsewoman match with Bianca versus
Bayley,
Damage Control of Dakota, Asuka, Kyrie, and Io? Yeah,
I really think that Dakota Kai is setting up to take over this group, and they're going to turn Bailey babyface, and Bailey's
Well,
going to
they're
need
coming out
help.
with no Bailey tonight.
Yeah, they are.
No wacky waving inflatable arm flailing 2-man. How I like how Dakota is just like the de facto like translator for everyone
Right.
else in the group.
Is that what she said? Really?
Is that what she really said?
Really? That's all she said?
That's it.
EO's song is a banger. It's wicked. And it's interesting that they come out to just her song. Not
You know
that
what this means? Sorry. Now that we've got Hunter back in charge, we're going to get Poppy at like a pay-per-view or something.
Absolutely. He loves Poppy.
Well, I always kind of liked, at least, even though I don't listen to Poppy, pause, but
Charlotte and Shotzi.
But the live performance and everything that they would always do at like the takeovers and everything,
I love
would
that.
be really nice on a pay-per-view.
Oh, and just for anyone out there, because I know there's been a lot of talk about it, Triple H praised Shotzi. He's very happy with Shotzi, and we're going to see more Shotzi. So
don't worry. At this point right now, with her coming out like this, I'll be fine with seeing more Shotzi. How you doing?
We got to fight.
But see, that right there, that's the thing. That's the only thing to me, is she actually cut a promo like a fucking human being. Do that, and you're fine. I get everything.
Yeah, no.
Just don't come out there and just be a character, look like you're getting straight out of a B-rated horror movie. Just be you.
Yeah, it's more than just
boo-boo.
Dun dun dun. All women are just throwing hands.
Right. I got
tag match player.
Holla, holla, holla. Charlotte just kind of wandering around of like, I don't know who to grab.
Uh-oh. Oh, spine buster. Shucks the earrings.
Not even a full spine buster, more of like a plant. Like, just
bye.
Bitch, get out my ring. I really do like the whole visual though of Damage Control. They look like an actual group.
They look wicked.
Charlotte looks like a fucking giant compared to everyone in the ring, though, respectfully.
Where? Oh, CM Punk.
What?
Hey, I look back at his bastards.
Hey, they're gonna get him on the show one way or another.
Right. Woo. It's gonna be hefty. Shotzi is the Darby of women.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that.
What's up, AJ?
Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller. I actually legitimately did not know we were getting that match. And we're getting the champion disruptor Logan Paul tonight. What in the fucking name and shit is that?
Fox is hilarious. Oh, this is interesting.
Fox is the WWE.
Pete Dunne is going to be taking on Bobby Lashley.
All right.
It feels like this would be the spot Sheamus comes back.
Yeah. Did they just announce that? Because I've got the Brutes. I believe you because I got the Brutes entrance right now.
Yeah.
I just didn't see any visual for it.
I saw it the late this afternoon. They had put out one of the little graphics with it.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
No sign of Bailey. Listen, I said this and I got laughed at, but I think Dakota Kai is hijacking this fucking crew.
Oh, 100%. And I just like instantly the coincidence. I think not. Absolutely. It's very much, I think we're setting up for a baby face turn here. We said it for once Kyrie came back and got involved with Damage Control, and especially the Asuka turn solidified. Bailey, thanks for playing. We already thought before when we just had the three of them, that Bailey was going to be the one on the outs.
Yep. And I think it ultimately leads to the return of Sasha Banks. Hang on tight.
Personally, I get why it would be a big thing. I personally don't like that. Speaking of, I offended KJ so much he had to take a pause. But as I'm in commercial break right now, folks, how you doing? Would you add Julia to Damage Control? If she signed and I can make it work, she's maybe the one that outs Dakota. If we're gonna just go full stardom kind of faction, 100%, I'm fully down for that. But I think this is not your AW audience or what the AW audience likes to pretend that they are. That you would very much have to slow play this. You would have to ingratiate Julia into the story and everything. You can't just drop her and like everybody knows who she is. No, this is not AEW. Not everybody watches Stardom. Not everybody watches AAA, New Japan, etc. Is AJ Styles out till Rumble? I don't believe so, small mark. I think if we're getting talks about the Good Brothers coming back tonight, I think AJ's got to be pretty close around the corner, if not here tonight as well. So, Samson, what up? Did you see Britt's tweet? Do you think it's a work and she's the devil? No, I think so. For those who don't know what Keyshawn's talking about there, Britt Baker tweeted out about how much, I think it was the Dynamite this week, how much time, promo time even, MJF got, how much time Christian got, and then she put how much she's gotten in 2023, which she put as 0. I don't think that has any tie to her being the devil or anything like that. I think the whole devil thing is arguably, that's a whole different discussion. I think that's almost jumped the shark. But I think the whole Britt Baker thing is more of the women's division in AEW is not happy with how they're getting booked. Let's be point blank period with it. You're seeing now all the fake accounts that are sitting there trying to run stories saying that, Britt's going to leave AEW, this person. That's why I think the whole traction, why people are thinking that Mercedes is more likely to sign with WWE over AEW. I don't think that's the case at all. I think she's built to go to AEW if she wants to be the big shark and I guess a medium tank at this point. I think it's more of that people are getting vocal when it comes to AEW of how much the women are featured. I know I was out here. I wasn't anti the women's match. I just didn't want 2 War Games matches. But WWE has very much booked their women's division better. Even on NXT, Christ, almost the whole first night of Halloween Havoc was nothing but women's matches. I think AEW has very much ignored that aspect of their roster outside of Toni Storm, and even then, she gets pretty much a promo a night, and that's about all we see of the women on AEW. So I think it's more of that. Daniel, what up? Oh, we already touched on that. Speaking of Dale, what up? Read that today. Yes, again, I respectfully said, woo. Pete Dunne for the win. Curtis, what up? Well, we haven't gotten our over-under on the commercial breaks, my guy here. NXT announced or released that sucks. She was good. Honestly, though, can anyone in the chat out there right now send me one highlight, send me one super clip and everything that you remember from Mackenzie Mitchell? I get she was probably great at her job, but a lot of these WWE announcers, respectfully, and especially the backstage interviewers, have become interchangeable. It's almost respectfully a little bit like working for ESPN here. As now we've got Bayley backstage, and so tonight we are getting Kairi Sane. Her first match back in WWE outside of the War Games match is Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. Yeah, where were you? Yeah. Over or under a number of commercial breaks, 9. Fair enough. Well, we've already had 1, so you got 8 more. Maybe take the line with that. So I've got Pete Dunne in the ring, and he's been now in the ring for goddamn 5 minutes, I feel, between the commercial break and now the backstage segment. Paul's agreeing with me. I'm not sure on what. Ronan, look who finally showed up. It's late to the party, Bailey. How do you now give your biggest woman star any promo time for the whole year? Because she hasn't been in any stories. Like, that's literally when I saw that, I was like, what? And granted, that's an indictment on their booking if you want to look at it that way. But I wouldn't even argue was Britt needed to be the biggest star in AEW this year. Honestly, it was supposed to be Jamie Hayter, and then she got hurt. So maybe that's when you would have gotten Britt's promo time and everything and Britt on screen. And I think that's more of, it becomes that argument of, did injury derail the situation that could have been there? As now I've got Bobby Lashley coming out in the most interesting of like tracksuity ring gear, but he's flanked by the Prophet. So 100%. The prophecy has came true here. We're getting Bobby and the Prophets. Big Bob. Oh, the announcer. There you go. Larry's taking the over on commercial breaks. Bobby for the win. Yeah, I think this has got to be Bobby for the win. But Brucey bonus point, like KJ said before he took a pause, does Sheamus return here tonight? Is this what we're setting up for? Is a Bobby versus Sheamus, which again are two guys that are underrated. Like, let's look at the like top tier talent that both come, like, we'll even just say both shows have. You've got Seth, Drew, Finn, CM Punk. You could debate Randy Orton, Kevin, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes. You look at SmackDown, you've got Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross. Where it's WWE right now is just ranking up a murder's row of stars. It was the company that almost initially, when Roman kicked off as, the tribal chief, it felt like they had no stars. Now it feels like they got more stars than the Milky Way. Bobby and the Prophet sounds like 60s musical group. That's the point, my guy. What is Bobby's cutting a promo right now? Yeah, Bobby Dust. He looks a little bit like Bobby Dust. Did anyone see Cody hide the Stardust action figure when he was doing his little Todd Pettengill sales pitch for the merch store? Man, I love Bobby's entrance music. When you hear it, you get that pounding down your bones. Pause. I think if we're going to say anything that sounds like that, it would be Samoa Joe's entrance music with the dun, 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 dun. But yeah, double pause, triple pause. As we are on our way with Bobby Lashley versus Pete Dunne, Butch. So if you haven't given me a prediction, let me know who you're taking. I think it's kind of obvious it's probably going to be Bobby Lashley. If Pete Dunne Butch wins this match, it's going to be a sneaky roll-up, or like I said, Sheamus returns here. Crowd always cheers loud for Bobby. Bobby's such a weird anomaly in pro wrestling because he has the fucking physique and the athleticism on par with a guy like Brock, etc. That's why those were always the 1A to 1B almost. But it's just that even with Brock, with his crackly voice and the voice that doesn't match what you would picture him to sound like, Bobby just hasn't had that last little it thing that's really switched over, I feel. What did JV say? I want Bobby to use Butch like toilet paper. Yeah, pause on that. 100% pause on that. Ever notice how Bobby Lashley looks like Wayne Brady on steroids? I have not until you just said that. Now I'm just looking for my Colin Mockery and my Ryan Styles, I guess. And we'll just do whose line is that anyway with, the points are made up or the matches are made up and the results don't matter anyways. As I'm in commercial break number 2 right now, I believe. So, Paul, your prediction on 9 is already looking shaky. Bobby can't talk at all. Well, that's why he was great with MVP. He was great with Leo Rush, even in Impact when he was there and had Kenny King kind of be his mouthpiece for him. He's still in that, again, comparable Lesnar stage of how Lesnar always needed Heyman to be kind of that mouthpiece, but still, Bobby has just a presence about him, just physically. Speaking of presences about them,
physically,
beardedly.
No, I'm really surprised with how much love Bobby's getting. Huge pop, huge chant. Let's go, Bobby, during the match. Not Pete Dunne, Bobby. Like, that's insane. They're supposed to be heels.
Can you really boo Montez Ford, though?
Well, they're not cheering Montez Ford. They're cheering Bobby.
Yeah, but he's around Montez. I'm just joking. Oh. Yeah, no, it's interesting how even at one point we thought this whole faction had been derailed to where he was reading them the riot act and everything. And we thought we were done here. They were breaking up before they formed together.
Yeah.
And now they're here coming out almost as a babyface. They're the triumphant heroes here.
Yeah, I mean, getting lots of love. And I mean, I think this is leading towards them versus the Brawling Brutes, I think. But we will see. Lot to be figured out here. But Bobby looks good. I'm crazy surprised with the reaction. And I like the Hurt Business being back. They haven't done a whole lot. And the fact that the crowd's behind them, I imagine the people sitting in the in Gorilla have to hear it.
Now, is it interesting, though, in a super secret Easter egg, that Cedric Alexander is now technically on the Smackdown roster, which is where Bobby and the Prophets are. So maybe we do get that, coming back to the Hurt Business and everything. When's the last time we saw an Omos and an MVP outside of the house show?
MVP has a crew to go up against them, maybe?
Maybe.
What's the possibility of Roman Reigns defending his title at Elimination Chamber title in the Elimination Chamber match in Australia? And would it be? No, he won't be in it. I don't
Slim and none.
He might be on the card because it's Australia. I don't think he'll be in the Elimination Chamber.
This is how you make Roman Reigns bigger, and you also make the match itself bigger. Is you make the match who wins faces Roman.
That's what it's become. Is the number one, like the person who doesn't win the Rumble that was really close ends up winning the Chamber. So,
yeah.
Dun dun dun. Unless they put Seth's belt in there, but I don't think they will.
Do we see any title in the Chamber?
I don't think so, honestly. But I
mean, because it's in Australia.
I think they might be on the card because it's on Australia, and again, they might want to up the ante. Maybe I'm more inclined to think that Seth would defend in the Elimination Chamber. I
could see Rhea defends in the Chamber, and she picks up the win. Big, huge win. You get some compelling bits and everything. It's in backyard territory, so you get some compelling moments of, oh my God, could you lose it? And you'll get a big babyface reaction for Rhea win. Yeah.
Does that mean you are okay with a women's Elimination Chamber on the same night?
No, let's not get into that.
I'm just curious.
We got time before we get into that. You're gonna have that. You know what? Because you brought that up, I'm gonna take my.
When do we see Strowman return? Well, we'll see Nick return in a few moments. Strowman is still recovering from neck surgery, very similar to Big E as well. It's hard to say. He's a big man. He's a strong guy. I'm sure he's rehabbing as much as he can, but I think it's something you have to be cautious with, take your time with. Fusion surgery just doesn't sound fun to begin with. So, yeah, will he be back? Hopefully. Will it be soon? Maybe not. Rumble? Again, everyone seems to lean towards a Rumble return at this point, right? So, yeah, maybe it's the Rumble. Bobby doesn't really have a mean streak. He's a nice guy, but WWE hasn't booked him the best either, aside from Hurt Business. I mean, I think Bobby's had his moments. I think he's been given his chances to kind of do his own thing. He was U.S. champion. Then he got mucked up with all that Miro stuff. I like the little promo that he cut pre-match here. I'll break you in half, right? Like, I mean, that I can get behind. That I believe because he is such a large, imposing man. Wow. Two count for Dunn. But yeah, I think Bobby Lashley has a lot of upside. I think he has a lot of, a lot of potential here with the Hurt Business. I think Nick mentioned this, but I liked them with MVP just because MVP is such a good mouthpiece to have at your side. So ultimately, We'll see. I mean, if you give them in doses the way you just did, I think it works. Wow, 2 count on the power slam, 2 count on the power slam by Dunn. Butch, he will be in the WWE role there. Damian Heater. What did Damian say? Oh, there you go. I see what you said. So if the Brit thing is not a work, morale must be low. QT left. Jay frustrated. Yo, did y'all see the news about Matt Hardy's not happy with the creative of the Hardy Boys because essentially they do nothing and then they pretty much get brought in to do jobs. They just jobbed out to Top Flight. They've jobbed out to the Hardys. I think they jobbed out to the Righteous. Matt Hardy's not happy. Now, I'm not the biggest Matt Hardy fan in 2023, but it's interesting how many people have issues. I'm leaning towards Britt being a work. She's such a company gal. But Bobby, with a huge win, does split Butch in half. Taking him to the butcher shop. Wow. What a spear. What a spear, folks. Make the Brutes the heel. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. That could work. I think Sheamus can pull off the heel vibe again. And it's something new. Butch is a natural heel. Ridge seems like a heel. I'm down with it. Let's go. Rhea Ripley will be headlining Elimination Chamber. Doubt Roman will be there. Yeah, part of me thought he was on the poster. I thought he was part of the marketing, but that could be BS at the end of the day. I think you have an opportunity here. You let the women, even if it's not the women's war games, but you do a women's war game as the main event and you give Rhea that moment, right? In front of the home audience. I think that's a nice way to go out. And we're clicking back to war games. We're going to be reminded of the most talked about moment in wrestling in a long time. Maybe since the last time the guy was the most talked about moment. Almighty Prophets. I like Bobby and the Prophets. There's rumors Bully Ray is the devil in AEW. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Come on now. I mean, it works. Bully can talk. Bully could help AEW. Bully really could help AEW. Is he the devil? I don't think so. Again, honestly, Daniel, I have the opinion that if it's not Adam Cole, it's bust. I think anybody, if it's Ali, if it's Ziggler, if it's maybe Samoa Joe works, but if it's not somebody tied to the story that they've been telling, like what was the point of all the peanut butter and jelly sandwich vignettes and all the video game playing vignettes and best friend vignettes and hugs and kisses and you're my best bud and I love you, bro. What was the point of all of that if there's no payoff? All right. And there's got to be a reason why MJF's still holding on to that tag belt, but those tag belts are on the line against mystery opponents next week, as told to us by the Devil. Bully Ray would be, again, I think he could help AEW. He's got personality. Yeah, and he knows how to work. As I get a replay of the epic RKO from the top of the cage. True JD McDonough getting chucked like a lawn dart. I'm not cool with 2 Elimination Chamber matches either. Only thing I agree with is 2 Rumbles and 2 Money in the Banks. Meh. Oh, well. We're stuck with it, Boston. Whether we love it or hate it, it's booked that way. And that's how they roll, and I got no issue with it. I watched the Women's War Game match twice now. Thought it was excellent. Thought it was actually overall better match than the men's match. And at the end of the day, I didn't watch the men's match and think, oh, my God. And if you watch them very carefully, my friend, you didn't get a table in the women's match. You got it in the men's. You didn't get a cowbell in the women's. You got it in the men's. You didn't get the big moonsault from the top. You got that in the women's, not the men's. That's how you differentiate them, is you make them stand out. And it's not like we were sitting watching the women's match going, oh, this is really boring. And then in addition to that, it's not like we watched the men's thinking, man, if I hadn't already seen this tonight, this would be so much better. I don't think that happens. I mean, I know Jim Cornette thinks that, but I mean, that is what it is. He doesn't think the women should do anything but valets anyway. So at the end of the day, we get 2 for all the majors, including Money in the Bank. Randy is back better than ever. Cross is his buddy. Elbow, elbow, cough, cough. Interesting, Dave. I'm down with Carrie being involved, but Paul Heyman talking to Nick. Ooh. Whoa, Nick Aldis getting mouthy with Paul. Anything it takes. Call Roman Reigns. Interesting. Dun dun dun. Some chat love. I like it. What's up? Randy looks bigger, better, stronger, scary guy. Listen, Randy's got jacked, and it's crazy to watch. I love it. I couldn't believe it when he came out on Sunday or Saturday, and he looked insane. So yeah, no, I mean, again, I think this is what the fun about all of this is where does it all go? Who fits in with who? Is it going to be Randy and Roman? Is it going to be, is Drew going to swing back around and go after Seth again? Is Seth going to fight Punk? Is Punk going to fight Roman? Where's Karrion? What are we going to do with this one? Who's going to fight Logan Paul? Maybe we find out tonight. Like, there's so much up in the air. Makes it good for the wrestling fans. KJ, I have a neck fusion. They're no fun. Steve G, I don't imagine they are. Honest to God, and I hope you're doing well. But yeah, no, it can't be good. Butch just got butchered. Ha, gotcha, Ronan. Great minds think alike, my guy. The Hardys will be jobbed out anywhere they go. Yes, but I think here's the problem. I think they missed an opportunity. When Jeff Hardy originally signed with AEW, you had the opportunity there to take a very nostalgic pop and you instantly turn them on the belts. And that's what you should have done. I complained about that when Punk joined the company, when Danielson came in, and we see it a lot of times when MJF returned. Instead of MJF being involved in something intense and something that mattered right away, he did a pit stop with, was it Daniel Garcia? Like, again, you're tempering your talent. And again, the Jeff and Matt Hardy aren't what they used to be, but they could have scooped up those belts, ran with it for 8 weeks, a couple months, dropped them at a pay-per-view to the Bucks. Instead of being, you can highlight your veteran talent. And the same thing on the opposite side of the scope, you have Chris Jericho, where Jericho shouldn't be getting the booking Jericho's getting. Jeff Jarrett shouldn't be getting the booking that he's getting. And these are things that I think some of the diehards overlook of. You have this older talent, and if you're going to bring it in, I mean, you kind of do what you did with the Big Show, maybe slightly different, but you bring in those vets as a big deal. Oh my God, we're going to get a Hardy match. When they just show up week in and week out and fight nobody gives a shit. So that becomes the dilemma. That becomes the problem for me, is that you're just really not taking advantage of what you have. Now, all this time removed, Jeff has to leave. Jeff gets charged. Jeff comes back. They do a bullshit Leatherface match. They do a few more bullshit matches. Nobody cares. And that's a sad thing to think about, when I think if the Hardys showed up at a pay-per-view on WWE, they're not going to be main event guys, but the pop is going to be huge. They matter. It's a big deal. They're treated like they're a big deal. And then you spot book them. You put them in the right places to make them matter. But more and more people coming out with issues in AEW is very intriguing. Cross is very scary. He's a beast. Him and Randy tag team partners. I don't imagine that's going to happen, Dave, but why not? I mean, Karrion's gone cold. So we got to figure out what's up with Karrion, what he's going to do. I'm still a big fan of Karrion Kross and Scarlett for that matter. I really do need to see where they're going to go with this. 0-1. Butch really sold that spear. Did he ever? Hi there, Steve G. And 1-0. Dale's 1-0. Welcome back, Dave. Dave and Dale. Keyshawn, you think it's heading towards Britt as the double? I really hope not. For Tony's sake, for AEW's sake. How do you write it with Britt? Here's my question. If it's Britt, A, the pop or the payoff isn't as big as you want. 2, in this type of scenario, you want to see the babyface get his payback. If it's Britt, the closest we're going to get is he beats up Adam. Now, is it Britt because she's jealous that her boyfriend's spending more time with him than her? Well, she should be mad at Adam for that and maybe question some things. 2, Is it Britt without Adam knowing? And then what? Is it Britt with the help of Roddy or who? Who's listening to Britt? Why is she leading this group? She hasn't been around. I don't know how well it works out. And I'm all ears if anyone's got some suggestions, but I don't see it going well if Britt is the double. I still hold the fact that it might have to be Adam Cole. And there's only a couple other exceptions. But if this all the story that you've been telling for months doesn't lead to Adam Cole, then I think we're fucking up. Oh, the Yes Boys. Here to talk to Butch. Not a good idea. Called his career dead end. Do you see Bobby Lashley as WWE as a Hall of Famer one day? Damien, as Butch is getting beat up by the Yes Boys. So Butch having a bad night at the office doesn't seem to have a friend. And we did not get Sheamus. But they just said you're alone. So hold on tight on that.
But you know who's not alone is you, sir, and bitch looking more bitch than Butch right now.
Bitch looking more bitch than bitch.
All
these bitches.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, so you want to bank your money and your time and your booking on weekday in Jacksonville, Jeff Hardy?
No, that's not what I was saying. I'm just saying if you're going to bring them in, you got to utilize them. You bring in these names.
They did. They've just passed their expiration date.
No, but I don't think Tony ever capitalized properly on the whole Hardy thing because they were caught up in all that.
Yeah, because they got arrested.
Prior to the arrest, when you first, and everybody freaked out that he showed up, that's when you capitalize. That's when you take advantage of the eyes. You set up a pay-per-view. You build an angle to something that pays off because they are who they are. No matter what has happened, there's still name value in the Hardys. And that's where
WWE, they show up for a hot minute and then leave. They show up for an appearance.
But I mean, if they showed up, it would be a huge pop. And I don't expect the older regime to be booked as top guys. That's my issue with Jericho. That's my issue with Jeff Jarrett. That's like when you use those talent over other talent, you got a mistake. But I felt like he did it with Ruby Soho, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole. Like you bring them in and everybody pops, but it ends up just being like a fucking,
popcorn
that's it. Yeah, that's it. You get the, oh my God, they're here. Now what?
Right. As I'm getting a replay of Escobar's situation from last week.
Absolutely. You think he's heading toward? No, we got that one. Michael, how you doing?
What up?
What do you think of Britt mouthing off about Zero? Yeah, we're still debating this if it's a work or not. I'm torn with this one. I don't know. I mean, it's genuine. I mean, it's factual.
It's real. Either way, love it or hate it, shoot or work, it's real.
AEW's women division misses Britt Baker because Britt Baker was a star in that category, in that division. She stood out. She was able to rock the mic. She was compelling, and they've lost that. They don't have it.
But that whole division, you had Jamie Hayter, who was supposed to be the next one to carry that mantle, has been nothing but injured. Thunder Rosa has been injured, and I guess she's been allegedly cleared for a couple weeks now. They're still using her. I think they just don't give a shit about their women's division, respectfully.
They don't seem
Sorry.
No, I was just saying they don't seem to.
No, I was laughing because C-Money read my mind here. Please tell me Escobar's LWO tat on his hand is a hand tat. Temporary tattoo, my guy.
Right? No, I still
don't rub alcohol on that shit will go away.
We'll clean that right off. I can't wait for the first episode of QTV on WWE. I can. You stop that.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. No.
Oh, I hope not. I really fucking hope not. I like having Cole for the devil. Me too.
Yeah, well, at this point, who is the devil? If it's not Adam Cole, have you fucked up?
I think so.
I'm worried that you already have with how long it, like you were worried about this of it's overstayed its welcome.
Not overstayed its welcome. I think like this week was nice because it was an uptick in the behavior. And I think if anybody's paying attention, like in any good story, the the impact of the heel has to increase. So if he just pops up on the screen one week, like if it starts with a jumping and then the following week it's just his face, and then 2 weeks later it's his face, and then 3 weeks later it's his face, we're not progressing the story. We're not progressing the threat. Now this week was good with the lights out and the typing, because now you're biting into a story. You're getting there, and you're like, okay.
Aces and eights. It was aces and eights. As we're getting
Well,
Santos Escobar coming out, well, the whole time you're like, you got to build more into a heel and everything. It's like, well, yeah, we're getting Escobar coming out. That fits perfectly. But we're getting Escobar versus Walking Wild. But yeah, no. To me, and I was the one that thought it was going to be MJF as the devil all along. At this point, I'm sick of it. To me, it has no bearing. It has no merit. It has gone almost far too long. And now I think it's one of those we're setting up
ironic
text and stuff like that because we don't want to even reveal whose voice it could be, because someone will, undo the muffled fucking voiceover and everything, like when we had Vince as of doing the voiceover for the stalker gimmick and shit.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I find it ironic because originally when I said they had to pay it off at Full Gear, you adamantly battled me on the idea that no, this could go all the way to Revolution, if not further.
Because I thought they could still make it good.
Fickle wrestling fan. Like it's over. Like I said, I was a little disinterested because we weren't getting anything to be interested in. It was like, if you compare it to something like the White Rabbit, it was just a little thing, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the reveal. This was big, and then it tapered off, and now it's picking up. So at least I'm giving them credit for that. If it goes further than World End, then we got a problem. There's two.
I thought it could have gone longer, as if you didn't have this part here that we've got. If we didn't have that, if you really slow played that, I feel like that almost would have worked better. Because you're telling me that you're more excited now because we've got some type text from the devil of we're going to get an unknown tag team match. Not, we sat there and had MJF, hemmed up, had him sitting there looking down the barrel of a baseball bat. We were going to go full fucking Negan on him and everything, but we let it all go because of some text on the screen and everything, some typewriter text.
I think I'm happier now seeing what they've done. I'm happier that they've actually moved the needle. You're making us talk about it more. You're making us think about it more. And the fact now we're getting to the point where they're interacting with the mystery people, opposed to just a face on a screen tilting its head and disappearing. Yeah, I'm much happier.
So then is it a faction?
Yes.
It's a faction.
It's been 4 people from the beginning, 4 or 5. So what are the spare people? Just
no. I'm saying, so who outside of Adam Cole would be acceptable as the devil?
I think, to me, the only other person I can think of that makes me go, oh my God, would be Joe. Everyone else is a waste.
But I think it's going to end up more. I think we're stalling for 90 days to be up.
I do too, and that makes me nervous, because if it's Ali or Ziggler or Boobs, or it's a bad move.
You took the words right out of my mouth, because the first thing that I thought of was it's Ali, and I saw so many people of like, I know Retribution. What is he?
Yeah, no, I can't go with that. But ding ding, Joaquin Wilde taking on his old boss or buddy. Yeah, Santos Escobar. Who's got some predictions, folks?
DJ Zima Ion versus Santos Escobar, El Fantasma right now.
What's the commercial count on that? 3? It's definitely 3. Over 8 or
3.
Whatever Curtis said, it's over.
He said 9 as the line.
9 is the line.
I'll do it from time to time, but right now we're at number 3.
Right. Let's create our own wrestling company, AHW, All High Wrestling. No, because everybody would just sit in the corners, mind their own business. Nobody would.
I mean, I don't know. We kind of work well as a commentary team. I mean, we're all Vitamins commentary, so
right. All Vitamins Wrestling.
That'll be the next thing. If we make it big time, we'll be like Chris Danger and fucking Deadlock and all of that. We'll do our own. We'll be the next, What Culture and everything. We'll do our own, wrestling promotion. We'll just do the commentary the whole time. Yeah. We'll be able to book what we want to book. God damn it!
There you go. Oh, Down Goes Wild.
That sounded so insane to me. Down goes wild. Down goes wild.
Santos is doing a really good. Yeah, it's been excellent. His heel turn has been phenomenal, seamless, and everyone's buying into it. He cut a mean promo. Let's go.
Does Dragon Lee replace Ronald Mysterious in kind of the figurehead of this feud, though?
I think so. I think it's a high possibility.
I think would be still a fantastic match. I like how SmackDown's on, like, they're not announcing that they're moving kind of more towards like a cruiserweight, a 205 live, a light heavyweight division, but they're kind of just doing it naturally.
Triple H is 100% setting up distinct identities for both of these two shows. We talked about it with the women's division. Raw's got a lot of the big beefy girls. I say that respectfully and fondly, to be honest. But there, you look at, you got Asuka, Io. I mean, yeah, Charlotte's a bit of a taller drink of water, but you see he's creating definitive identities. You got a lot of the beefy boys, the Bronson Reeds, the Otises on the one show. Yeah, there's exceptions, but there's definitely more of the smaller guys kicking around. We just talked about Cedric Alexander, now officially part of SmackDown. Another guy that will go with Dragon Lee and these guys super well.
Right. Angel, what up? I hope I said that right. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that because I just thought of Olaf. But I think, like you said, Triple H is very much using both shows as their own kind of, the media rights are all different, everything. They're all kind of painted with their own, brush and everything. Monday Night Raw is very much powerhouse division. We've got to build out 3 hours of television. Meanwhile, Friday Night SmackDown's a bit more one good overarching story and a lot of really good in-ring action in between that. Now, I'll wait till the next commercial break, but we can talk about the media rights are very much in contention and being talked about for Monday Night Raw, and that's even allegedly why Triple H missed Monday Night Raw this past week. This is what happens. I like, though, that Roman's, I don't want to say he's introduced that, but reintroduced that into pro wrestling of I'm going to talk shit to you mid-match. Like, I'm going to cut a promo on you mid-match and whoop your ass. As Santos picks up the 1-2-3 with a Rolling Thunder here. And still just throwing hands on Joaquin. DJ Zima Ion getting that scratch and sniff buzz.
Here comes Lee. Or is it? Yeah, it's Lee.
Yeah. Don't worry, if he has another match later tonight, he'll change his mask.
There you go. Oh, Santos from behind.
He very much to me somehow feels like the most comparable to be the next Ronald Mysterious.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's being billed as. So nice.
But there's been multiple attempts. Like Escobar was one of those guys, I feel, at one point. Sin Cara was one of those guys at one point.
I think Escobar still fits in that ilk, but except he took the mask off, right? So you're a mask avenger.
Yeah. He's more the Eddie role, I feel.
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on his name? Selena del Sol. Kalisto. Was very much of that ilk. Like
Yeah.
there's been a record of guys that were built up to be the next Ronald Mysterious that haven't fit the
Mhm.
bill.
Well, I mean, two things to that. One, those are big little boots to fill. And
Pause.
two, um,
One
again,
is the Hobbit shoe.
Vince wasn't exactly known for the lovely booking of the little men. So
Lucha, lucha.
here
And
comes
hey, we
Logan.
got. And now, did you see that it's been announced that I guess Randy Orton's first interview since coming back to WWE is going to be on Impulsive? And boy, howdy, like I said, if we aren't, wondering why Logan Paul's here, why he's got a U.S. title, we're fully branching out and, working them deals here.
No, I mean, again, a lot of people who hate Logan Paul or can't see past the personal side of things and can't buy into the whatever is best for business. This is 100% why Logan Paul is walking around with that belt on his shoulder. They want eyes, they want people talking about it. And yeah, Randy Orton being on his podcast is going to be a big deal, and I think a lot of people are going to tune in for it. It's going to be fun. And again, there's no denying what this guy's brought to the table. He didn't just show up and half-ass it. He's here.
Oh, 100% he gets clicks. And I would argue at this point, I would say he's probably the best transition from outside of pro wrestling to inside of pro wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, art imitating life.
Bad Bunny's arguable. Pat McAfee's arguable. Respect.
Yeah, but I
Um,
don't know. Bad Bunny to me, no. I mean, I think Bad Bunny's overhyped as far as what he actually does in the ring.
what about
Keep
Pat?
in mind,
Pat's to me the closest comparable.
Pat can go. Pat's trained. I love Pat. But no, I mean, he doesn't quite do it on the
He's
level
better
that
on the
Logan
mic
does
than
it.
anything.
Yeah, Logan's just athletic. I mean, whether you love him or hate him, he's an athletic guy. He does the buckshot better than the guy that's supposed to do the buckshot.
Right.
So that's the way it
When
is.
you hit
Commercial
your
break.
signature move, but when you hit someone else's signature move better than they hit it, you got problems.
Right. Santos is so good. Yeah, we talked about that. Welcome, 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 by the way. I'll say Silveu, I think.
Silver you, silver me, silver you, silver me.
I like bad guys, but not big dog Roman. Who?
What?
We can talk about this. WWE is developing a problem. And here's the problem. They are stockpiling stars. You're stockpiling main event talent. You're
Where's the
stockpiling.
problem?
Oh,
Don't worry,
well,
I'll wait.
let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
They're stockpiling people that should and could be champions, yet
Mm-hmm.
our champion has no presence on the show. Been MIA, wasn't at Survivor Series. We're not getting anything from Roman. At some point, if your plan isn't to take this belt off him at Mania, you got to start considering what the fan base is gonna. When Roman was ahead and above everybody else, great, but it's slowly not getting like that anymore. Randy could be champion, Punk could be champion. The list is huge.
But that's
You
what
need
makes it
to address
work.
it.
But that's what makes it work. Like, how many Avengers movies did we get and we didn't have fucking Thanos in it? But guess what? The two biggest grossing fucking Avengers movies had Thanos in it.
Was he
You
not in the
have
backdrop of every movie? He was even at the end of the
right,
first
but
one.
that's the thing is
So
still every Roman is not advertised for tonight, but we're still talking about Roman, right? 100%. He is the overarching fucking villain here.
I've been the biggest
100%.
I've been the
Everything.
biggest Roman supporter going on for a hot minute. The issue now is, again, I think for a long time he was miles above everybody. But the group has caught up to him. As Adam Pearce is here,
But I think that's what makes it great is now you have those guys, like I said, of why I'm so excited for a Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns, because that's someone that's on the level.
he's got to have a presence. He has no presence, and it's faded right off. I don't give a shit about the bloodline. I don't give a shit about, like, all right,
Don't
Solo.
worry, you will. Don't worry, you will.
He'll come back, but he needs to do something. He needs to have a presence.
And I think you will. That's the thing is like I said, don't worry, you will.
Right? I didn't say get in
We
the
will
ring and
get the
defend your
stories
belt.
that we have, and everybody's excited about this person and that person and everything like that. If we don't have the Roman Reigns and we even have that room to breathe, that space to breathe.
Room to breathe. I mean, in what sense though? Because he hasn't been here. Like, room to breathe. I mean, again, you missed one of the major four. Like, I don't understand that you have no
but still,
presence.
SmackDown's still the highest drawing show
without him on it. Thank you. So that's the point, right? Like, they're drawing huge numbers without him.
Right. So imagine when we add him back.
We'll see, but I mean, again, it's probably going to be around the same of what they're drawing right now because of the other names. We're going to get good views this week because of a Randy Orton. You need a presence from him, and he's been so absent as of late that it's ventured into too much.
But so you're telling me that you're not excited for Roman versus Randy, Roman versus
Paul? I want to see someone take the belt off Roman. And again, I never said I wasn't excited about him. But
you just want the bloodline. You want him with the belt gone.
So to make it compelling, you need to make sure he's coming back and he is present. He can't continue to just have Paul Heyman tap his phone. He's got to actually be present for this to matter. And when you got all this other talent that's ready to go, that's here, any one of them can have that belt and still carry the torch. In the past, they were afraid of the torch dimming when they passed it. That's not the excuse anymore.
I will use what you said with me with the Punk thing of it's a marathon, not a sprint.
This has been a marathon. We're in fucking 2,000 plus days, my guy. So I don't know what you mean about a sprint. The slowest fucking sprint in history.
But it's still going to be that much more impactful. So you don't think Roman versus Randy is going to be impactful at all?
I never said it wouldn't be good. I'm saying but again, if it's just Randy talking to Paul every week, it's not.
But I'm not. I don't think it will be. That's the thing.
That's exactly my point. He needs to be present. He's being pushed, and there's going to be so many names that people want to see with the belt. Now that we are here, they have to react. They have to have him involved. The bloodline has no story right now. What's the bloodline feud right now? Kind of LA Knight, maybe. They weren't on Survivor Series. So who's bloodline feuding with right now? What's the importance of the bloodline? That used to be the single most important thing on the show. As Logan Paul cutting a promo.
So Logan saying he can't give Ray the rematch he was so excited for. Everything out of Logan's mouth, just respectfully. Babyface, heel, however you want to view it. Just cringe. I don't want to hear it. Respectfully. No.
Ooh. Look at this. Karrion Kross is on the screen.
Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. So we're getting the scramblest of eggs.
It's just running through the gambit. Big paw for KO. KO Logan's intriguing. Even though he's fucking around with
that right now. That to me right there, that's the match we're going to do because that got the reaction. Who sold it the most? We're going there. You're right. Like I said, we're going there. Now, was it one match or is it like a tournament of we're answering AEW even though they didn't knock on the door?
I thought he was just listing off like past U.S. champions or no, there's the tournament list. There we go.
About next week, 8 men. I don't know if it was one U.S. title tournament.
Yes, I missed when he said it. Yeah.
So I was just repeating the comment.
Yeah. So we got a tournament going on. It's going to be a good one. And yeah, plus someone from NXT is on the list. A mystery from NXT.
Carmelo.
Ooh, juicy.
Carmelo or Braun, one of the two.
Ooh. I almost like the idea of Carmelo better, but again, it's tricky because he's so much bigger.
Braun has nothing left in NXT. Carmelo still has the Trick story and the Lexus King story. Is Braun in the match at Deadline? I feel like he probably is.
Corbin?
But I can't confirm.
Ilya loses to Corbin, and then it's Corbin? I mean, I don't know.
Is it all just a former U.S. champions? Is that what it is?
No. Because Santos, like when I was looking at the screen, I was like, what are you trying to tell us? Karrion Kross in the tournament's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I think this so solidifies it's going to be Kevin Owens that wins it.
Yeah, I'd lean that way. I like KO versus Logan Paul. I think it's good for this
He's
right
the
here.
one out here cutting promos on him, so I think he's odds-on favorite.
Your days as U.S. champion are numbered, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Sorry about that, buddy.
But, buddy, greatest boxer.
I even dropped a buddy.
Woo. The greatest boxer in the world, folks. Yes, he did. I agree,
See, he
Jacob.
thought that line would be clever, and it wasn't. What the whole, how many seconds I need to KO you? It's like, no, it's like when you're watching a battle rap and like, you thought that line would hit, that didn't hit.
Yeah, I think that's why KO threw out the whole, oh, you think you're clever. Uh-oh. The attention hogs is KO will be taking on Waller here tonight. The attention hogs.
Pause. Can I keep it a buck? If I had to take Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul into straight out fisticuffs, I'm taking Kevin Owens. That man's gonna fucking pull the. That man knows how to win a street fight. This ain't no boxing match.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Hockey fight, my guy.
That's the only way. You got to go.
Right.
Now book a reverse battle royal. No Russo booking. No, thank you.
No, you can watch that Sunday night when Luna and Anthony are talking about the Viagra and a pole match.
These three should just hang out.
It's Douchebag Squad.
Yeah. The attention hog.
It's the DCC, the Douchebag Combat Club.
That's what they should call it, too.
The DIC, the dick. Plus.
Oh!
Oh! Slash the taste out of Austin Theory.
That's enough out of you. I mean, if I'd rather KO win, but I mean, if Logan pulls it out, I mean, it is what it is, my guy.
I'm pulling for KO, and granted, I'll say this respectfully, as Kevin Owens become mid-card Stone Cold.
Yeah,
like you don't buy him. I feel as a world title contender. Like
you don't buy Kevin Owens.
No, I'm saying you could make it work. I'm saying with him right now, if you dropped him in there, you'd have to build to it.
For what? I'm sorry, I misunderstand.
Never mind. Move on.
Wait, what are you trying to say? So
I got time to argue. Go ahead.
I'm not arguing. I don't know what you mean.
I'm saying that right now, with the way that Kevin Owens has booked and everything, I feel like if you dropped him into a world title picture, you would have to build around and build him up a little bit to make it seem a bit more valid and everything, and seem him more credible if he could win it and everything. Versus right now, him in mid-card, Stone Cold, Steve Austin there. 100%, I sat there right out the gate, said he could easily take that title off of Logan and everything, 100%. Yeah, I don't, he would not be an early favorite to take the belt off of Roman. I'll say that.
Fair enough. Braun should have been brought up before Waller. Not true, in my humble opinion, Steve G. Again, you can think of this very linear, but at the end of the day, Waller's in that mid-card pocket. He hangs around with Austin Theory, such. Braun, you're grooming to be a main eventer, a title guy. You take your time, and it's not necessarily about who was more ready. Keep in mind, Braun sucked as a babyface. He had to figure it out, and he did. So, again, different strokes, different ways. Dragon Lee got brought up quick. It's all about the holes you're filling, pause, and where you're going with it.
Yeah, it's one of those that's like with any team. It's not exactly even a detriment or a statement on your talent. It's more of what is lacking on the team that you're going to.
Right. Our buddy Reel's back, and his diehard AEW is showing because they're doing a U.S. title tournament. Come on, I mean, tournaments are old as time. Like, if we want to be fucking anything,
old as time.
yeah. And I mean, again, if you want to think that way, because of AEW only being 4 years old, pretty much everything outside of the exploding ring match, which even that was a copy of something else. Some of the storylines are copies of old Attitude Era. A lot of it is mimics of WCW. So, I mean, that's a silly way to look at it. We've had a lot of tournaments in a lot of companies.
I was going to say, most movies you watch right now are just literally rehashes, redone, like copyright-free versions of it.
Right. It's going to be Carmelo Hayes because Mello is money. He is him.
He is him Jones. He's him Duncan. He is out here standing in his Himberlands, 100%. I like the ceremonies, though, of let's politely stand next to each other until we get our time cue. He must be primed out of his head.
Too much egos, too much egos.
What is AEW?
I don't even know what he's referencing.
Well, he did follow up with, that's perfect, the douchebag combat club. Give this man an Emmy.
There you go. There you go. KO is the dot maker.
Okay.
What KO doing in the mid-card scene now? Again, because you have so much talent, you're going to see Nakamura and Cody, KO, Sammy and Drew. Guys like that they have to go to the middle of the show, but now your mid-card is stacked. You have a mid-card that other people can't touch, and they'll get their time.
People forget at one point you were watching a SummerSlam on WWE and you were watching The Rock and Triple H in a mid-card ladder match for the IC belt.
There is a shit ton of fighting.
Is it what now?
The fight has started with KO and Waller.
I just heard there's a Sugar Honey Iced Tea, a bunch of fighting.
The Ottawa and Columbus are beating the shit out of each other. Agreed with KJ, never bring anyone up with a plan for them. Nothing worse than bringing them up just to sit there, them in catering. Yeah, I mean, you will have some guys that come up and job out for a long time. Remember, I mean, Triple H ends up being a jobber for a year and then figures his life out.
That's a different situation.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you have those guys that need to fill that role. He filled that role for, his reasons. So you will have a few guys that get called up and then they kind of bounce around. We don't really see much out of them. Eventually, they'll push them. And I think that's the cohesion with Michaels and Triple H is that they know who they are. Triple H knows who this guy is. Vince was seeing a lot of this talent for the first time. Who's this? Karrion Kross?
Oh, 100%. It's to even go back to the basics and everything. It's like you're on the JV roster and you get moved up to the varsity roster because you can expand your varsity roster for the fucking playoffs or what have you and everything. 100%. And boy, howdy, are we in the playoffs now, boy. So you may not get the most runtime or anything like that. You may not get the most ice time or anything, but I'm going to still, what you do with your ice time, that's on you. And you're going to show me even more that I should give you that more, that I should give you that extra experience.
Right. Why sit here and hate watch? You don't like WWE, so why watch it? You must be miserable, LOL. All right, so let's move past that. And again, you have every right to your opinion out there. But like I always said, and it's not just the AEW fans, it goes both ways. If you can be a fan and be honest about the product. You could be a fan and assess what you're seeing or what you're getting. And again, it is what it is. But AEW is the baby on the block, and it needs time. It needs time to figure itself out. You can't, again, everything they kind of are doing has been done.
Don't be fooled by the botches that I got. I'm still con from the block. You used to have Punk, but now I don't. But no, either way, it's still, like you said, we're honest about either side of whether it's good, bad, indifferent. it's you're watching pro wrestling and taking it in as pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm. I disagree with you about Waller. You're entitled to your opinion. Braun already made his heel persona by the time Waller was called up. Yeah, he's got it, but he's doing stuff. And again, if you move Braun up and let him get stuck in the middle, you can do this with Waller, but you can't do this with Braun Breaker, because Braun Breaker is a different caliber of wrestler. So you have to harness him differently. You got to take care of him differently. It's the same as Jade Cargill. There's girls that are going to get called up at times, and even in the past we've seen it where certain talent gets moved first. But when you believe you have a blue chip prospect, you cultivate that prospect. And that's all I'm saying is Waller is already at a level where he can comfortably come out, be on TV, Braun, they need to harness him because he's going to be the future of this business at some point.
But still, even though to like what you said, and especially I know you have the coaching experience and everything like that, if I have an open spot at say a right wing, and I've got a guy who can fill that spot pretty well and everything, but meanwhile I've got a blue chip fucking defenseman down here, but he's still developing, he's still growing his game and everything like that. So when he jumps up, he's not jumping to second, third line, he's jumping blue line, power plays, everything like that.
Yeah.
I'll jump up the right winger before I'll jump up the blue chip.
Well, it's like Connor Bedard, probably going to be rookie of the year this year. He jumps in.
No one say Corey Perry or Delonte West around Connor Bedard.
But you have him. He's going to, he's on the first line. He's on the first power play unit. You don't bring up that caliber of talent and put him on the third line. And that's the issue with Braun Breaker. So you got to pick your spot and make it count, make it worth it. Mm-hmm. Waller doesn't need that much love. I mean, he's there and he can do a job all week long to KO. He'll still be Waller.
Facts. As we are in break number 5, even Curtis said, so I'll trust that word.
I like AEW. I'm an AEW fan. But my goodness gracious, Tony Khan is not a wrestling booker. He's a fan with the resources needed to start a company. He needs to let qualify. Yeah, you need a team. We talked about coaching a second ago. The best coaches in the world, put people around them that can do shit.
Tony Khan, I will say this again publicly. Our socials are scrolling right beneath us and everything like that. They're in the descriptions of the video and everything. Be a friend, tell a friend, reach out. We'll help you, my guy. We've been critical, but we will help you. My guy, you're trying to take on too much at this point, I feel. And now he's becoming, I think, outmanned and outgunned. Like I had somebody earlier today ask me, and I'll ask you this and I'll poll the audience too. Do you think Ospreay, and that's the question, does Will Ospreay turn AEW around? Can he fix AEW?
No. And I think Triple H said something very poignant at the media scrum. If you think you are one of the best in the world and you want to prove it, you come here and prove it. And I know it's not a direct comment, but I took it as, hey, you might sign somewhere else, but all you're going to do is say you're really good. You need to be here if you want to prove that you're the best at doing this. I think that at the end of the day, that's what it's about is you got to find, Will Ospreay's going to put on some good matches. But if you don't book it compellingly, if you don't build up to it, if this becomes, it's just Will Ospreay's going to win at Wembley. We already know. So how do you get there? How do you make it interesting? That's where we'll find out.
See, everything with that, what you said there, I agree with. To me, it's more of, at this point, I don't think there's one person, whoever it is, there is not one person that could truly fix AEW. This now has to be a shift, like company-wide, of which way we're going here. You can't be this in between, halfway this, halfway that. You need to pick a lane and stay there, motherfucker.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, we're back from commercial, right? By the way, Waller in control of KO. As long as there's people like Jericho, the EVPs and such that are making it highly, and they are dampening the product, they are holding others back, they are making bad decisions, and you're agreeing with them, if you have main eventers that aren't used as main eventers, the company will never grow and will never be anything more than Tony's vanity project.
Fair enough.
Waller is the Australian version of The Miz. I'll take that. Very similar.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
I wish TK wouldn't have random matches on a Rampage episode. Well, then we wouldn't have Rampage at all, which I mean, I think maybe all of us
It
would
should
vote
just
for
be
it.
Ring of Honor, as we've talked about.
Let me talk to you. Let's go.
Yeah.
Ronnie, hello. How you doing? What do you think? I clicked on it, forgot to mention it. What do you think the fact that Karrion Kross will be in the U.S. title tournament?
I'm fine with it. What else have you done? He's just been
Well,
out
that's what
there
I'm
just
saying. Like,
looking at everybody come out with it through their entrance, just black and white. He hasn't done anything else.
Yeah, I think that was my question: is what do people think out there of the fact that they've got him off the bench? They're tapping his shoulder. He's going in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll be. If we're doing that as a tournament, I think he'll be a upper mid-level guy. He's not going to probably win it, unfortunately. I don't know. That's the ultimate question. Karrion Kross is the enigma trapped in a riddle of, what do we do here with him? I think in this tournament he stays at most kind of upper mid-card guy. He's not going to be a world beater. He's not probably even competing for the mid-card title. Does he go
Well,
after the
he's
world
actually
title?
competing. He's actually.
Well, no, I know he's in the tournament. Okay, fair enough. Semantics.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way Triple H booked him before, the way he was booked in NXT, he could absolutely be a monster, and they could prove a lot of points with Karrion Kross. It'll be very interesting now that he's actually being utilized to see how he's utilized.
But with who else is in there, though, that's the thing.
What's the thing?
Well, I'm saying you've got like Kevin Owens, you've got Escobar, etc. in there. I don't know if those are guys does he just kind of go on a murderer's row and gets the advantage on? Like, it's looking at like how they've divided up the Continental Classic there with the gold division, the blue division, all of that. You start to look at brackets. Everybody does it. In that group that they've had that's in that tournament, would you put him front runner or would you put him maybe more a surprise underdog?
I don't know. Like, this is what I mean. I'm very intrigued at how they're going to book him. I'm very intrigued at how they present him coming into this tournament as KO gets the roll-up win. I love it.
There we go.
Rolls out. Sup, Roman Reigns. How you doing? Welcome from India. Love it.
Wow. As you said, Roman Reigns, I thought you were going to Roman Reigns out of here.
Breaking news, Michael Cole just said Kevin Owens may have broken his hand, according to, they're selling it.
Yeah, 100%. It's called, but that's the thing, is that's what's becoming great again about pro wrestling, and why you've even said we're towards that almost attitude era-ish of the line between kayfabe and work is getting blurrier and blurrier.
95 million views now. It's jumped 25 million since Monday.
It just keeps going. I still love the Monday Night Raw where we're like, wait, I've seen that clip.
Uh-huh. Kross is the U.S. title tournament for eating the most food in catering. He's been in catering. We get it. I'm curious, does he return to form under Triple H? I wonder if Triple H has something for him. I'm curious. We know he was a world beater. He dominated for a long time.
Do you actually use tournaments for their intended purpose?
They're showing the clip again.
Yeah, fucker. But to where you have stories that come out of the tournament and are built out of the tournament that don't even exactly relate around the title.
Absolutely. If it's done right, I imagine. Yeah.
Right. Like, I'd be fine for a Kross versus Kevin Owens story Neither one of them have to be up for a title, but I'd still be fine with the match, 100%.
Yeah. MJF recently defended the AEW World title against Kenny Omega without cheating, becoming the longest reigning world champion in AEW, so kudos to him. Yeah, I mean,
what are words formulated into a sentence?
Yeah, congrats to MJF. Again, he was your biggest heel. Maybe he should have cheated.
Yeah, he was your
And
biggest
actually, if you go
fan.
back to that match, was there not something in there? No, not in that one. But most of the matches there is. So I mean, again, I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Like as far as good for him.
And
Yeah, like
that's just the statement after this of just and question mark.
3-0. The roll up is more dangerous than the walk through crime alley at night. It's the most dangerous move. What can you do?
All right. The surprise roll up is the most devastating move in professional wrestling. I swear by it.
Who is the first challenger for Punk?
Seth Franklin Rollins.
I agree. It's there.
Has to be. Has to be.
Yep. 6K of those views are from me alone. Yeah, no shit. 16K. Right?
Man's just falling asleep with it on a loop.
Dude, we put out a fucking short of Punk doing a victory lap on Monday, and it gets fucking 12K plus clicks. Like, it's insane the drawing power of this man.
Well, it's like you've said you've put out, no other people put out and everything of the reason we didn't get the pipe bomb that we expected, I especially expected and everything. CM Punk returns on Smackdown next week on the Tribute to the Troops, so we will get Philip Seymour Brooks on Friday Night Smackdown next week.
There you go, folks. Breaking news. The channel is watching the Viagra on a pole match on Sunday. LOL. Makes me want to experiment with hard drugs. Experiment, my guy. Have fun.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, we are watching. Well, not we. Luna Havoc and Anthony will be here on Sunday, and they will do a rewatch of.
Yeah, that's the definition of not we. They are watching.
Right now, Bianca Belair's coming to the ring. I'm gonna grab a quick break, folks, and we are rolling along.
Okie dokie. As KJ takes a pause for the cause there. Break number 6. I don't know the commercial break. I feel like we're about to get one then. Are you half a second? Next week, Roman Reigns. Yes. Anthony Ashton. No, we're not going to talk about that. Yep, money. No pipe bomb. He sucks. Punk is PG. No, Boston. Calm down, my guy. I know I wanted, and I'll say this as we're in commercial break and everything, and I know, of course, figures as KJ leaves here and everything. I know I wanted it to be much more than it was. I wanted the, MJF going at Tony Khan. I wanted the pipe bomb and everything. The more that I've looked at it and everything, and I get it as slow playing it. I wish there was more of the NDAs and everything that's talked about that is completely real and everything, especially why Tony's even saying when he's asked before all of that about how he can't say anything legally. I think it's very valid then that maybe Punk can't say anything legally. So I will admit that I wanted more out of what Punk said, but what he said was not bad within the context. I will say that. Give Punk a program with The Miz. He is the only one that can hang with Punk on the mic besides probably LA Knight. I highly doubt that. Anthony's, Anthony's already popping up of answering your question there, David. He ain't gonna do that. You can have that. That might be what Anthony might be mad at. Congratulations to Alexa Bliss. Yes, shout out. Appreciate it. But I will remind everybody we are rolling through Friday Night Smackdown as we've got less than a half hour left. And then we've got AEW Rampage coming up tonight. As I just botched trying to take a drink out of my own fucking cup. But yeah, we've got Rampage coming up after Friday Night Smackdown. And it is interesting because this is, to me, regardless of how we've talked about and everything with Ric Flair's whole situation, everything beforehand, this is the one time I've publicly known before a Rampage taping that they cut something out. And that it was literally that intrusive, that controversial, that talked about. That just from the taping alone, we already know about a moment that might happen on Rampage. So it'll be interesting to see how much and what we get of Ric Flair, I will say. Michael just shouting out Ryan Cabrera. There you go. Nick, I hear the voices of why didn't Punk mention AEW, blah, blah, blah. You were telling me Miz versus Punk won't sell. Yes, that is what I'm telling you. That might sell on a Monday Night Raw. That is not selling on a pay-per-view. Miz versus Danielson is not Miz versus Punk, 100%. We saw Miz get outmanned and outgunned with Gunther, so why are we going to put that man with less artillery against the guy that's already got a better defense? 100%. I if we're going promo for promo type shit, I would not put the Miz versus Punk. Not at all. The Miz respectfully lost to Gunther, and if it weren't for already we were going with baby faces and everything like that, we're not getting that feud. So I wouldn't. You're doing a detriment more than a service here, as I've got Kairi Sane getting hyped up here as. So everybody else on Damage Control is hyping up Kairi, and Becky's just standing there on the outside, just kind of watching along. As Asuka was even hyping up the fucking Pirate Wheel. So this is the first singles match that we have of Kairi Sane back since she's re-signed with WWE, and she's taking on Bianca Belair. Miz would have no problem with hanging with Punk at some point. That promo battle would be cooking. Fair enough. You can have that. I might have some type of holiday hat. There we go. Non-denominational holiday hat. I'm not going to click on that one. Dom and Punk, this was nearly 14 years ago. Backstory. Oh, so we're getting into David's mentioning about how, if they get arrested for life hat made some on that. There, yeah, we do have the merch store, by the way, 100%. But yeah, David's also mentioned about how CM Punk's recently put out about when he was feuding with Ray, and he was calling out a young Dominic Mysterio. So could that be the first match? That's going to be interesting. Is what is the first match for CM Punk when he comes back? Is it a match like he had before when he was with AEW? It's a Dom Mysterio. It's a their version of a Darby Allin. It's you have a couple test the waters matches before you dive in shoulders deep into a pay-per-view match. So that would be interesting. Break number 7. Working on hats, pants. Pause. But so I've got bell ring. Let me know who you're taking, folks, whether you're taking Bianca Belair or Kairi Sane. I think I gotta clearly go Kairi here. Her first match back as a singles competitor since she signed with the promotion. I think it's, even though we've got both teams at ringside, I think this has got to be Kairi. Bianca for the win. I didn't even know Punk has put that out recently. I was just mentioning who I really think would be a good heel to sell for him in his first sale. There you go. EO new leader of damage control? I think very much so. Like I said, I think the power shift has very much shifted in that group to where Dakota's pretty much become just the voice for the whole faction. As Bianca with a kip up. No one says she was. But so let me know who you're taking, folks, whether you're taking Bianca or Kyrie, as I've got Bianca with setting up a big. Oh, Kyrie fighting out. Fights out of the power slam and has got the braid. Eats a right hand. Kyrie for the win with help, says Vance. Fair enough. OC, Hook, Danhausen, Trent versus Lee, Parker, Evo, no. So the Dark Order, yes. That is coming up on Rampage here as we've got about still a half hour on Friday Night Smackdown. Damien taking Kyrie for the win. Bailing the cause, seeing the match, planting the seeds for the breakup. I think Steve and I agree with you, but I think we're already planting them seeds here. We're backstage and, Bailey's just kind of standing off to herself here, seeming like the outcast out of the group, even though she's allegedly, technically, supposedly the leader. Asuka, just how is that not a DQ? Asuka just chilling on the fucking ring.
Asuka just got the boot.
Right. As we head into commercial break.
Dun, dun, dun. We're rolling along, folks. Make sure you're in that chat. Make sure you're saying hello. Make sure you're part of the show. Don't miss out. We are back tomorrow for Collision. Sunday, we're back with original content. And then we do it all over again, heading towards NXT Deadline and I believe Impact Final Battle. And there's like 3 shows on the 9th. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we will be here for all of it. And we don't stop all the way through the holiday season. Make sure you be a friend, tell a friend.
Absolutely, 100%. The boot of the hook. You gotta just watch out for the shoe.
Either one. She's leaving.
I think you're going to be. Oh, what did Steven say? Oh, about Bailey saying the match. So who do you have in this match, sir?
I kind of feel like Belair might take this one. Bailey's been banned from ringside or told to stay in the back. I wonder if that plays into this somehow. But I think they've already kind of gone down this road. Bailey's clearly having issues with the crew. So one way or the other, whether she's involved in the end of the match or involved in just, I wasn't there, so you lost. I mean, either way, I could see Kyrie losing.
Fair enough.
They all going to turn on Aunt Pam. She's gone. She's going to come back as a babyface and win the Rumble and win title at WrestleMania 40 with the whacking inflatable arm flailing Bailey buddies by her side. I feel like a Bailey turn is coming.
Wacky wave inflatable arm flailing 2-man. Wacky wave inflatable arm flailing 2-man.
What are you kind of?
Yeah, I botched the first one. But do you see that? Well, you said that you think Sasha's coming back to WWE. Do you get a 4 horsewoman versus Damage Control match at, say, even a Mania?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's got a nice ring to it. I love the way Damage Control looks. I love the new attitude. They all of a sudden seem more relevant, oddly enough. And again, a nice group of heels. The 4 horsewomen come together would be very interesting. Shotzi might fill in for Becky maybe in that group, but other than that, yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to be more of the situation to where Bianca might fill in for Sasha.
Oh,
as far as the 4 horsewomen versus Damage Control.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I think Sasha could be involved. So maybe it's Bianca that takes the place. Yeah, that makes sense. Bianca for Becky.
I still don't buy into the hype that Sasha's going to WWE. I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh,
That's just
I'm willing. Like, yeah, no, I've gone on the record. I'm 100% sold that she will return to the WWE. Again, it's the promised land. It's home. She got friends there, and again, it's a bigger platform than any other platform.
Which sounds more hypocritical, if she says that WWE is home, or CM Punk saying that WWE is home?
Realistically, I think on paper, I don't know why she'd be a hypocrite for saying that WWE is home.
She walked out.
Well, she had issues with the last regime, and I think a lot of people had issues with the last regime. This is not the same WWE, so
She's been, I
this
think,
is
more
where she
vocal
started.
than most about. She's been, if anything, more the female CM Punk of being more
Yeah,
opinionated about how she felt about WWE and
absolutely.
everything. So that's why I question that.
Yeah, no, I still think it's. I mean, with her, she was born and bred in the WWE system, and I think no matter where she roams, she's never far from home. When the ocean meets the sky, she'll be sailing. So yeah, I think she'll be back. And if she does come back home per se, I don't think anyone's going to bat an eyelash at it. The pull of working with Bailey again and such is a tempting thing.
Man's just wrote a whole country song in his answer there. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Please don't bring back her hugging gimmick for Bailey. Well, no, she even sat there and sold to where she's like the anti-hugging now, to where everybody wanted to hug her and she's awkward. I don't know how to handle this.
I like it. I like it. I like it. It really does sell going back the other way. I like it.
Right.
Sasha and Bailey both. I mean, like you saw the pictures, you saw when they, kind of had the best match, arguably one of the best matches in NXT history, if not one of the best or the best women's match. They were all tears and they love Hunter. It's like a father-daughter relationship with these girls. So Hunter's got swag, Hunter's got sway. And if there's a will, there's a way. I didn't mean to do all that twice.
Swerve when I drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, swerve
shit.
when I drive. Big pressure I apply. Yeah, swerve.
So Nick's taking a pause for the cause, folks. We are rolling along right now. Kyrie is in control. If you haven't made a prediction yet, get in that chat. Let me know who you're taking. Please don't bring back her hugging gimmick for Bailey. I'm hoping if they revisit the babyface Bailey, it becomes a more mature version of that. Like, I mean, everything has to evolve, right? If she goes directly back into doing the exact same kind of, I'm just happy to be here. I'm so happy. Everything's great. Maybe it's, you know, an evolved form of that. But I think, and I'm all ears if you think otherwise, but Bailey as a heel to me has kind of run its course. I don't really care for Bailey coming out as the heel. I thought Damage Control prior to Kyrie coming back into the fold had got a little stale. So the new look, Damage Control, is great. I believe Dakota Kai is close to returning, and I think ultimately there's potential there to set up something quite big. Punk even said he's there for the money. Yeah, it's a line because remember, it's all friends wrestling, right? And again, it's about business. Triple H is there for the money. Seth Rollins is there for the money. Roman Reigns is there for the money, Steve G. That's not exclusive to Punk. I know some of the, your nearest and dearest might sell you on the idea that, well, we really love wrestling. And yeah, there's a love there. But there's Bailey, by the way, helping Kyrie. But yeah, don't get it twisted. Think about it. People who wanted a pipe bomb, you can't do a pipe bomb. So you got comments like, I'm not here for friends. It's not about all friends wrestling. It's about business. Read between the lines. What happened to Sheamus? I don't know. Maybe next week? I don't know. I don't know what happened to Sheamus. KOD. And Belair emphatically with a W. Bailey fails to help again. I have a feeling that Sasha Banks returns at the Rumble. She's training for a return. I'm with you. I've said, I went on the record on Tuesday, I think, with Anthony. I am predicting, and I'll sit back and wait for it to happen, but I am predicting Sasha Banks returns to the WWE in grand fashion. And imagine the final two of the Royal Rumble ends up being Jade and Sasha, as both managers coming out with contracts, both eager to see Mr. Orton. How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys like the fact that the shows are actually competing for talent? It's run its course. Time to go back to what made her all greats eventually do it. Yeah, I agree with you, Dave. And I mean, she's had a long career. She's been around for a hot minute now. And again, it was cool when she was doing Knock Knock, and she did well, where her personality really came to the forefront during the lockdown era, during the Thunderdome era. But I think ultimately, yeah, I think it's kind of run its course. And naturally, you have a really nice position set up here with Asuka, Io, Kyrie, and Dakota, where turning on her won't be very hard. I mean, they've planted the seeds. We're on the verge of it potentially. And again, she doesn't necessarily have to go back to being the hugger, but she can definitely be, babyface Bayley all over again. I want a Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus or with Jade. Interesting choices. Trish or Jade. Okay. Two very different wrestlers. There you go. When I saw Bayley, I knew Kyrie, my pick, was going to lose. I can't, yeah, that was my prediction. Kind of with you, Larry. 4-0. Bayley done effed up now. Now she's done stepped in the shit. You call it the shit poop. Ronan, yes, I love it. I like the storytelling here. I like what they're doing with damage control. I've said it a couple times now. And again, it's just another reason for the group to be mad at her. And eventually that moment's going to come. Probably get a pretty substantial reaction when it happens. And I don't know. I just feel it in my gut that, and maybe part of it is, Bayley tweets out a picture of Sasha and says, there's always got to be a plan B, right? So maybe I'm reading too far into that. But at the end of the day, I think there's, again, think of the pop. Bayley's getting beat up by them and Sasha's hitting music hits. Could work. Could work. Forno. Turn so you can be more effective as a babyface later. Bayley will be best babyface in wrestling when she turns back. If Roman ever does, he will be over huge. I think Roman at this point, he's by the WWE universe. I know, on Twitter and externally, there's a lot of people that hate Roman Reigns. Internally, people know what he is, and I think he gets a lot of cheers now, even as the heel. Again, he cheats because he cements himself as the heel. I know people don't love all the cheating, but it is his persona, and I expect that from his persona. With Bayley, yeah, I think Bayley going back babyface could be huge. I think people get really excited to cheer for her. 3-1. WWE doesn't need Sasha. Sasha doesn't bring anything to the table. She can go piss off. Well, JV, here's where you're wrong. I don't like Sasha Banks. I'm not a big fan. I think she believes she's better than she is. I think that there's talent there. But she's fragile. But at the end of the day, whether I like her or not doesn't matter. She moves the needle. She sells merch. People like her. She's had some really fucking legendary matches with Bayley, with Charlotte. I think that can't be overlooked or dismissed. I don't love her. I don't think she's a great promo, but I think there's something there. And again, even if you bring her back and it's all peachy key, she saves her friend, eventually she's going to turn on Bayley, cement Bayley further as a baby face. Sasha goes heel where she's better. We'll see. Now, again, she might still have other things. Oh, could she go to AEW? Yeah, but I don't know. I think her mindset might make her feel above AEW. So much for making a big deal about Kyrie returning to Crown Jewel. I don't know. Did you watch War Games? I mean, again, her losing to a former champion is not by all means a bad loss. She had a good match. People love her. She's a heel. She works. Her losing is not a problem. and she's still being booked very well. But a reminder, CM Punk will be here next Thursday or next Friday for Smackdown. Got me all confused. As we're getting the introductions for both managers, as this is the main event spot, by the way. So, again, very similar to Monday, they save the best for last. They save the biggest draw for the final segment of the night. God, I hope Randy goes to SmackDown. I'd like him to go to SmackDown, and I think if I get a vote, I love the idea of something happening between Cody and Randy at some point, but I'm very intrigued by the idea of Randy versus Roman. And I figured, fuck, give Randy, give him the belt, have a little run, take it off him, give it back to him, and have him start breaking some records. Fuck John Cena. Yeah, bosses should act like bosses, not evil, just looking to make the show better. I'll agree with that. I hope Kyrie stays for a while this time. She's so entertaining. Hopefully WWE doesn't treat her like a jobber, and she doesn't deserve that. I know she just took a loss, but yeah, no, she's part of the faction. She's part of Damage Control right now, and they're doing good things with her. Again, Bayley, the storyline of what's happening with Kyrie and Bayley and Damage Control, it matters. So again, if you saw that and you saw her get pinned and you go, oh, they pinned her, of course, they ruined her, yeah, then you don't know much about the sport. I vote Trish. Let's go Trish. Y'all know how I feel about Trish. There's a troll in the swamp. It doesn't seem like Jade will even be on NXT TV for a while. I don't know. I'm starting to think that the first time we see Jade, she might be one of the first people ever to debut and win the Royal Rumble. That's how you get her extremely over. That's how you strap that rocket to her back. If the Rumble comes down to like a Jade and Sasha, Jade and Bianca, there's interesting shit there. They, Triple H all but said she's a star. She wasn't quite prepared, and it's not her fault. And we're working on it. We're making sure she's gonna hit a fucking home run. She's gonna hit anything and everything that comes at her. She's gonna knock out of the park. And that's what you expect of a company that is protecting its assets, that is amplifying their brand, making their company the best in the world. The crowd going nuts for Randy Orton. Sasha is great, but her attitude's horse shit. Yeah, I think she's a little bit entitled, right? She comes off very entitled. And I know before in negotiations, she had issues with, she wanted more money. They wouldn't give it to her. I mean, it comes down in a lot of ways because, again, she's not Charlotte Flair. She's not Bayley. She's good. She's hung in there with them. But if you're looking at the upper echelon, she might be a step down. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, Nick Aldis and Pierce, Scrap Daddy and Aldis are not getting along, talking over each other. In my opinion, Sasha Banks works better as a heel. She does. I agree with you. Adamantly. What will Punk do on SmackDown next week? Wait to the end and then talk for 4 minutes and go home. I don't know. Maybe we go through a similar thing where Pierce and Aldis are trying to sign Punk. I don't know. All I know is them advertising it a week in advance is so that you're ready for it. And I expect a huge spike. Any native Australian type wrestling matches planned? Thunder Down Under. Maybe. Wait, what happened there? Yeah, Paul Heyman. I think, is this Paul trying to stop Randy for being a member of SmackDown, which is probably only going to encourage him and make Roman mad at Paul. Break number 8. You guys are my eyes. I'm at the McDonald's drive-thru. Well, fuck, hook us up. Let's go, Easy Bake. Send me a McChicken, would you? Both GMs are sucking up to Orton big time. Speaking of sucking up big time.
We have that then. But yeah, no, I'll take a 20-piece nugget, large fry, vanilla milkshake, all that.
Liter of cola. Can I get a liter of
Can I
cola?
get a liter of cola? It's for a cop. It's for a, it's for a streamer. It's for a big man.
Oh, Paul Heyman. Uh-oh. Randy might RKO all this. What if he RKO's Paul?
I don't even, well, he could, but I know you said if this is more him trying to sway Randy from signing with SmackDown, I almost wonder if this is him trying to sway him to sign with SmackDown.
No, yeah, my presumption is that he does not want him to be a member of SmackDown. He does not want him here fucking around with Roman. He's protecting his client, I think.
Ah, fair enough.
That's my take.
Roman Reigns.
Oh.
Because the bloodline is going to make the decision for Randy.
Randy looking around. Oh, here comes Soto.
Well, again, as much as this is selling Randy on don't sign with SmackDown, this is going to make him sign with SmackDown even more.
Punk probably be on Waller's show. Hilarious. Or fighting Lee Moriarty, right? Oops.
Oh, fuck. But is it interesting? I do really like that of you have both GMs out there of no, you want to sign here. No, you want to sign here.
Yeah, no, I think it's very intriguing.
So right now I've got Solo and Jimmy stomping on him.
Cody Rhodes show up to help.
LA Knight. LA Knight. Oh, this is how you still get LA over.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Out here stomping in his Himalayan.
Loves it. The pop of the night, folks.
But that's, again, think about it. Everybody that we mentioned before with Royal Rumble contention and everything, LA Knight wasn't mentioned. And he's the guy that's getting probably the biggest reaction tonight.
Yeah, I'd be very intrigued. Oh, Jimmy's in trouble. Oh, getting hooked up.
Almost fucks up the vintage Randy Orton, the drape over DDT.
I like people dubbing what he's saying there, where he wobbles his head before he hits it. Oh, the crowd going crazy.
My only one though that thinks that Jimmy's whole intro is he comes out walking like he has that thing on him, like he can make it hot real quick.
RKO! Down he goes, folks. Randy Orton
hits the RKO on Jimmy, and I like that shot of we just got Randy and Heyman eyeing each other down.
Knight will come out. Good call, Boston. Solo wasn't on the main roster when they took out RKO, was he? Good question. I don't think so.
No, as we've got both contracts in Randy's hand.
He's signing for SmackDown. Here we go.
Oh, 100%. He's even grabbed the SmackDown microphone.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
It's going to be a thumbs up, turns into a thumbs down.
You are so safe on Raw.
Even like you said, Heyman's out there. Don't do it. Sign to Raw. Sign to Raw.
Yeah. You were safe on Raw. Here you are not safe. Almost takes out all this.
The Raw contract.
And he's official.
Randy Orton is official like a referee whistle. He is Friday Night SmackDown.
Locked and loaded. So here comes RKO versus the Bloodline.
Oh, he's loaded for sure, but
jacked.
Don't make this man take a test. Don't make this man take a test.
Right. Jimmy took the RKO.
Well, I think honestly, if we're going in the tier of the Bloodline, Jimmy's the one that takes the L before Solo takes an L, and then we build our way to Roman.
Yeah.
As Reigns even says, you call Roman Reigns.
Daddy's home. Daddy's back. I want that t-shirt.
It's so amazing to me that in a week, Randy Orton has become like one of the biggest baby faces in WWE.
They top tier, man. And remember, he went out a babyface, so he came back a babyface. As Nick Aldis smiling ear to ear with his newest acquisition.
Right.
Orton signed both. I don't think you can.
Not quite.
That would have been a nice ruse.
You can't deny talent, and that's what Randy Orton is. 100%.
He did it! He did it!
Oh my God! RKO to Aldis out of nowhere.
And Randy's like, "Oh shit! What did I do? I'm sorry."
I have a confliction. I have a disorder. I just have to RKO people. Anytime Randy has this issue. Anytime someone sneaks up on him, he's got to RKO. Never approach Randy Orton from his rear. Pause. Boy, howdy.
Oh, Roman Reigns.
If WWE, but still, if WWE isn't becoming must-watch TV, if it wasn't before, it sure as shit is now.
Like SmackDown, and again, you leave with that, and you follow it up with CM Punk returns next week. Holy shit!
Yeah,
it doesn't stop. Shit don't stop, my guy.
The party don't stop till I walk in.
Knight and Randy versus Solo and Jimmy.
I like that. We end Randy with the pose, and
look
we
how
get the low 30.
packed that building is.
Yeah, it's amazing. There's a hard game side.
Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown has gone off the air. We will take a rating out of 10 on the show tonight. We aren't going anywhere. We got AEW Rampage up next. We will take your rating anytime you want, and then we'll figure out what you think about Rampage. We'll talk a little more AEW as we move forward. We got lots going on here, and still a little bit to go before we're back at it again tomorrow night and all through the weekend. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Be a part of the family. We're growing by the minute, setting records, hitting milestones left, right, and center.
There is nobody that covers pro wrestling like we do, and still, like you said, often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated, just fucking smashing the record books right now.
Right. So JV's thinking that Punk signs with Raw because Orton signed with SmackDown. Possibly.
Or you just stay free agent.
Yeah, you could. But then I make you ask, why sign Orton? I mean, at some point, he's got to, I think, sign somewhere.
Well, if I'm CM Punk, I'm the voice of the voiceless. I go where the voiceless tell me to go.
I'm CM Punk. I do what I want.
I do what I want.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if he's going to have a feud or rivalry with Seth, you have the potential there of him signing with Raw. Still can win either the Elimination Chamber or Rumble if they want to push him towards Roman. We got options. This is beautiful. There's so many options.
If CM Punk wins the Rumble, what do you do with Cody?
Cody wins the Elimination Chamber.
Hey.
Pause, Nick.
Okay.
I didn't say it. I read it.
Oh. I was like, I didn't see it, so.
Can we go back to Raw and RKOJ? I guess if you're not staying on Raw, you can just give him a high five and be on your way.
Just imagine it's red and just he did it to his brother. There you go. You got the same thing.
Right. Boom, boom, boom. What's happening?
I'm getting more of an ad for Coliseum than Rampage that I've got coming up right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I got the end of like Jurassic Park or something.
It's so hilarious. So AEW in Canada got bumped off the main channels and got pushed to basically the app. Like you got to download the app and yeah, like the secondary channels, like the FS1 in Canada.
Well, that was the one time that ratings mattered for AEW. Was the one time that they beat WWE when they went FS1 and everything. But yeah, I've got the ending credits for Star Wars, and I've got the opening, I guess credits for Rampage.
Yeah, I got Pyro.
I still need the video. Yeah, is it so interesting that Monday Night Raw could be on Warner Discovery?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have come out and shot that down over the last couple days, which I mean, to me, that means nothing. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they were meeting with Warner Brothers Discovery is interesting unto itself. Rumor out there, and again, I think a lot of it is dirt sheet based. Of like, well, Warner Brothers just turned them down back in October. Like, I mean, again,
The
I don't
one
know.
that I've seen report that was Meltzer, just saying.
Yeah. So I mean, again, Meltzer said it's not happening, so it probably is. Remember, Meltzer also said that Punk isn't coming back because Vince McMahon said so.
Right. But it's interesting to me, more of the numbers of I've seen them offer or kind of be looking at like 400 million, might come in more around 380 million, allegedly, is what I've heard. But that would still be, compared to SmackDown, compared to NXT, the weakest return on your media rates for what is essentially the staple of WWE television. Monday Night Raw is iconic with it's Monday Night Football to the NFL.
Right. Have Randy and Punk against each other. Interesting. As Hook's coming out, Orange Cassidy's already in the ring, folks. Cold-hearted, handsome devil.
I've got a OC Housen coming out right now, so I don't know if I'm probably behind you.
Maybe. Oh, Danhausen has returned, by the way. So we got Cassidy, Trent Beretta, Danhausen, and Hook
taking on the Dark Order, which have taken over being the Elite to it's now being the Dark Order.
Yeah, why? No one cares about the Dark Order.
No one cared about being the Elite, to be honest.
I love the people that voted. Like, this was the best wrestling show of the year.
That was just Stevie Wonder hitting the same button 18 times. Like, what are we doing here?
Now let's see the roster. Let's see what roster Wheeler Yuta goes to. That's funny.
Yeah, so I've got I've got Team Babyface celebrating in the ring right now.
Yeah, so I guess is it Coke and Diet Coke is in this match?
No, this is the Dark Order.
I'm looking at Coke and Diet Coke. Was I?
Oh no, fair enough. Okay.
Do my eyes deceive me?
No, I thought it was. Normally you don't mix Coke with Dork. I guess I don't know.
But yeah, it looks like Coke and Diet Coke with Uno and the other one. I always forget his name. I always wanted to call him Stevie Richards. Ryan Reynolds, Alex Reynolds. Reynolds rap. I don't fucking know. 9.5.
So we're getting OC, Trent Beretta, Danhausen, and Hook versus Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, Matt Maynard, and Angelo Parker.
There you go. There we go.
I thought it was strictly Dark Order.
There you go. Pretty much. I mean,
mea culpa.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I think that CM Punk will be having a rivalry with Dominic Mysterio on WWE. Sorry, not on AEW at all. Yeah, people have talked about this. I mean, I don't think out of the gate he might kick his ass a little bit though.
But if he has a feud like that, is that where you get like how you mentioned earlier of when like Punk came back or so on and so forth? Of he's having a match with Lee Moriarty. He's got a match with Darby Allin. It's like. No, let's maybe capitalize on what is CM Punk and use him in the big moments and keep him fresh while he's still here versus we use him in a match with Lee Moriarty and then he gets banged up somehow.
Suplex for everybody. Yeah, I mean, to me, there's a big difference between Dom Mysterio and Lee. And I see what you're saying. I think some would argue that because Dom is one of the most heat gathering heels in the business, that putting him up against an uber babyface Punk works. It wouldn't be my first choice, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't see it being anything crazy building towards some type of pay-per-view match between Dom but I could see CM Punk taking a match with him and squashing him out.
We're gonna hug it out.
Ooh, Trent. Ooh, I can't believe it's still hanging around with this group. It's driving me nuts.
I just got the hug, and now I got Hook wailing away. Are we close?
I'm slightly ahead of you.
Fair enough. You have that.
Yeah, that's right. You won't let me hold up.
No, you're good. 9 out of 10, Smackdown. I saw that pilot episode of Being the Dark Order today. Just cringe. What is AEW?
Where does R-Truth sign? I think he's wherever the Ruffles are.
Facts. That's the real question we want to know. He'll be signed to NXT.
Yeah, and I still give big points to Triple H, who, you know, comes out and so, you know, let's talk about the big return.
Right.
R-Truth is back.
Man knows where his bread is buttered.
Happening? Oh,
I got Hook just going insane here.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Hook's in the ring in control. 9 out of 10 says Ronan. 8 out of 10 says Curtis. What was this big one? T-Von.
I don't know.
I love everything that's... What?
No, I was just laughing at whatever. I'll do what I want.
I love everything that's happening with Damage Control. Definitely my favorite group on SmackDown, and Judgment Day being my favorite Raw group. Yeah, I mean, the formula is simple, and it's working.
Well, it's just surprising how AEW, the land of the factions, is being outdone in factions by WWE.
Because
by Hunter, who's grown up, who his whole career was factions.
Yeah, if anyone's going to know,
Evolution is a mystery.
Right. If anyone's going to know how to operate a faction, it's going to be Mr. H. And I think the biggest difference for me between the two companies is a faction in WWE. They stick together, they hang out together. There's some kind of unification between them, and whether they look like, you know, dressed alike or all put on makeup like Judgment Day, and become all hot topic-y. But there's something there. And then usually when you see one, you see all of them. I think the mistake Tony makes sometimes with factions is like just now. You see Yuta, and then on the next show, you see Moxley. Like, they're only really a faction when it's convenient and they kind of need the numbers, but in a lot of cases, there's a disconnection with a lot of them. You remember that Swerve's part of the Mogul Embassy?
No, it's the Mogul Embassy or the Gates of Agony that also just joined the New Japan faction and everything. Right. It's very much, it's gang warfare. It reminds me of when you had like DOA, what was it with Cyrus, Callis there, Kurgan and everything. That whole faction.
It's the Jackal. He's a
jackal. But the Jackal. It's a Jackal. But you had that faction. You had Nation of Domination. You had, like you said, it's more of, you had factions, but everyone seemed like individual players.
Yeah, but they were generally, and they ended up being connected, and they told story within the faction, right? The Rock and Farouk having issues, you know. I mean, that's how they've done it, right? But we're in picture if anybody was wondering.
Right. The Los Boricuas. Yeah, when we got Savio Vega.
Savio.
Yeah, it was the True Commission. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh shit, yeah. The
Jobber Embassy. Well, it's amazing to think that Kurgan went from the Truth Commission to the oddities with ICP and all that.
Love your channel, Casey. Thank you. We love your time and we appreciate you being here. So anybody that is here right now, we thank you as we continue to talk wrestling all the way into the wee hours of the morning. But thank you for joining us.
Right.
OC is the devil. God, no. His hands were not in his pockets.
He didn't, shin tap anybody. But yeah, it's getting to the point with this whole devil situation. I feel like you have one or two options left. And if it's not those, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Right. Crazy if that goes down with Warner. Yeah, it'd be insane. And again, you can't tell me that Warner wouldn't at least have the conversation. I mean, money's money and the numbers are the numbers. But again, it all depends. They might not even be able to. They might be contractually obligated not to negotiate with WWE. You have no idea.
But is this as the rights are also up with AEW, I believe, is this not I don't want to say a scare tactic, but at least a negotiating tactic of, hey, well, Tony, you really don't like WWE. Well, guess what? We could have them on Mondays, and then you've really got to follow that up. And how are you going to follow that up when they're on the same channel as you?
It's
around the same night, they're on the same channel as you.
Yeah, and I mean, in a world, I never see that coming to fruition. But yeah, I mean, Tony's got to be real, and I know that we often talk about Tony's money's unlimited, and Tony's just cracking the piggy bank. But again, if you have nowhere to air your show, it becomes very challenging to do what he wants to do.
What is Dixie Carter, Jeff Jarrett, Billy Corgan with Impact?
Real saying SmackDown had Bobby and Butch, which was good. Continued a storyline. Owens versus Waller, which was fun, absolutely. Santos versus Wild, good match. Continued to build that story. Belair versus Sane, continued to build that story, and that was a good match. And the crowd cared of none of it. Were you listening to your channel on mute? I hate to disagree with you, Real. Again, that tunnel vision.
We say listen to it on mute and listen to us. So I mean, he must have just misread what we were saying.
But yeah, I mean, everybody popped for Randy. The crowd was going crazy for Bobby Lashley. We even talked about it when it was happening. The Owens is undeniably over, and they were very happy to watch him kick the shit out of some people. Blair's loved the storyline with Damage Control is great. And the key thing out of everything you listed there, it all came with a story. SmackDown was really good tonight.
Well,
but hey, we got the Dark Order and Coke and Diet Coke here, so my bad.
No, you're good. I'm not there. But like you even said earlier, of everything that you listed off there, and you literally went match by match and explained the story that was behind it and everything. Everything in WWE right now, love it or hate it, has a story, has a connection to something behind it, has something that you can bite your teeth into.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with SmackDown tonight. Hater's falling out of the ring, even though he's not supposed to be there. Danhausen wearing the hat and cursed Coke. Diet Coke's got the hat.
He's made him Coke Zero. He cursed Danhausen has cursed Coke. That's too many sounds to make there in a row.
And Danhausen gets the roll up. Welcome back.
Purple bucket hat.
I saw that pilot episode of Being the Dark Order today. Just cringe. Yeah, it's I haven't seen it, but I can guess.
What is other YouTube channels?
9 out of 10 SmackDown, KJ and Nick. No one be watching Level Up. No. Level Up.
We got it. We got it. Danhausen picks up the 1, 2, 3.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Danhausen is your number one competitor, number one challenger. I'm not your number one.
Keyshawn made me laugh. Keyshawn said that Danhausen was the biggest guy on his team, which is kind of true.
Yeah.
Saraya is actually teaming up with Anna Jay and Ruby Soho tonight. So that's a very interesting thing. Saraya actually getting in the ring. She hasn't done that a whole lot. And here's Angelo Parker, fresh out of his match, not a drip of sweat on him. And looking good.
In case you were wondering what things were taped, but I was going to say Renee Moxley good out here in all of her, comfortable sweats.
She's looking like vanilla Pepto-Bismol.
Canadian Pepto.
Right? I'm watching NXT Level Up in the background. Nobody does that, Damien. Come on now.
Don't lie to us. Don't lie to us.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip over that nonsense. Dom is a heat magnet. He very much is. RKO is SmackDown. It's facts. KC, it very much is.
Right. As everybody dips out on Angelo here. Oh, fuck. Now, so here's where we're going to get the moment that everyone wants to talk about, I feel. Because we've got Tony Schiavone, so I'm anticipating we're getting Sting, and we're talking about this moment here so many years ago. This is where we're going to get the Ric Flair promo that was long, that I'm assuming they cut out a
I'm
certain segment of it. I assume if they haven't
see,
cut him out entirely.
which I still struggling to understand, but it's Sting.
One of Minnesota's favorite sons. Do you think of fucking Minnesota when you
Oh
think of Sting?
no, in my head he's like the California kid. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
the surfer dude.
Surfer Sting.
Yeah, you forget that he comes out of cold Minnesota.
You don't think of Surfer Sting and go, Skull.
uh,
Skull.
the main event of Rampage is Commander El Vikingo Penta Jr. versus the Workhorseman and Brian Cage.
So we're going to be talking a lot about other things besides the main event. That's what
See, this is why you just be a fan of wrestling. If you watch both shows or multiple shows or watch GCW and New Japan and all the shit that we watch and enjoy it and find the good in it, it's such a better experience. Because when you start bitching about the one company, you like when you are biasly bitching about one company, it's that old story. Like, don't throw stones if you're in a glass house. And when you watch one show and then the follow up is that main event, come on, bro.
Spot.
Here comes Ric Flair. Woo!
I'm a peacock and you gotta let me fly.
I don't know if you're allowed to use that word and Ric Flair in the same
Pegs. I'm a featherful bird. I don't know what else to say.
Paul Tony Khan fears Yoda. YODA Yoda.
I think he fears a lot of things. If CM Punk being around him made him fear for his life, I'd hate to see this man in a haunted house or something. This man might break out lawsuits.
Well, the most feared man in wrestling.
Tony Khan.
No, he's the most fearful person in wrestling.
Right, fair enough.
R-Truth better go dumpster diving for that.
Bro, that cameraman's dreadlocks were touching the floor.
Happens.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo out there.
The drummer of a ska band.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo out there, cameraman for AEW.
Minnesota's favorite has to be Lesnar. He's Canadian now, sorry.
No, still Minnesota. Still trying out for the Vikings. Fuck you. You can have that.
Ric Flair being stupid again. Yeah, Level Up's cute. I mean, again, it's quick and easy. Got a couple matches on it of people coming up. It is what it is. It serves its purpose.
It's what Ring of Honor and Dark Elevation was.
Yeah. I mean, he just asking all the girls to join him at the hotel and ride Space Mountain. Yeah, that's what he did. And I don't understand. He's been doing it for 50 years. Why is it a problem?
But it's 2023. When you're 74 years old. When you're 74 years old, you telling me it doesn't sound creepy when you're asking 18-year-olds to come to your hotel room? This man's out here looking like Leisure Suit Larry.
There was a TV show where Hugh Hefner had 14 fucking women that he was married to.
The guy who narrated the fucking Dark Side of the Ring episode, where you had Ric Flair doing his best helicopter impersonation.
Dude, you can't be
the one out here saying, "Keep doing you, Rick."
Yeah.
No. He
didn't say children come to my room. He said 18 plus. What are you up? So what? Right. What if it was a 55-year-old woman that said yes?
Well, I'm going to correct. I'm not saying cancel this man or anything. I'm just saying, just we don't need him on TV. You can hawk your fucking mushroom drinks and your Ric Flair drip and everything like that. You can be on podcast, everything like that. If I'm Tony Khan, I don't need this shit right now. I don't need this headache.
Yeah, but you know what? It shouldn't be a headache. I don't get the problem of a guy playing a character. He, like literally playing the same character he's played since 1968. Say to everybody, like, ride Space Mountain, woo! And everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Plus, Tony Khan paid to have this man say shit like this.
I get that, but I also think
you paid for Ric Flair.
WWE didn't pay this man to say shit like that. B, I get you can't sit there and pick apart of, well, I still want to woo every time I hear a chop and everything like that, but also discredit Ric Flair in this. That's why I'm saying I don't want to cancel the man. I just don't need you on my TV. This is not doing me any good service, anything at this point anymore. Regardless of how you feel, to me, this is not helping. This is hurting more than helping.
I didn't think Tony Khan should have signed Ric Flair in the first place because it's not helping. You're eating up TV time between two men of the combined age of 137.
And Ric Flair is always the attention. He is always the spotlight, regardless of everything with Sting. Ric Flair is the spotlight.
Yeah, because he is what he is. I agree with you there. Like Tony doesn't need Jeff Jarrett. Tony doesn't need Jericho. Tony doesn't need Ric Flair. He doesn't need Matt Hardy. Like, again, there's certain talent that could be using this right now. If we were getting a Wardlow fucking somebody decent match right now, it'd be much better than watching Nate talk. I agree with that. However, the outrage of him being Ric Flair blew my mind.
Well, like I said, to me, on one hand, it's gone too far. It's gone, you're making assumptions, you're getting upset about things just to be upset about it at the same time. But I will agree with this, though, what Paul said. 18 years old is legal creepy. It's creepy, though. But that's why I'm saying, you can still do you. You can still do you, boo-boo. You can still hawk your mushroom drinks. You can still do your Ric Flair drip. You can still be on your podcast, everything like that. Just, if I'm Tony Khan, after I just took a massive L with CM Punk showing up on WWE, I don't need another L and another headache.
Yeah, I'm just surprised it's an L. I'm surprised people even give a fuck. I mean, it's Ric Flair.
2023. At the end of the day, it's 2023. But no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you of why there's going to be that backlash, because it's
it was Rampage, but he didn't say anything really fucking like. And again, I think they snipped it because I didn't catch it.
Oh, they cut it. They 100. But that's the thing is, this whole thing came out because they had cut it beforehand. That's one of the few things that I'd ever heard of in AEW that they cut beforehand and became that known that they cut it beforehand because it was that much of a. At the end of the day, it is Ric Flair going to do Ric Flair, but at the same time, you are 74 years old. I don't need to know about you talking about 18-year-olds coming to your hotel room. I don't need to hear that.
Again, like it's not like he fucking brought out some fucking third-rate lady, like brought some ladies out or anything. He just said, "Hey, I'm the party guy." That's his persona. Like he's talking like Ric Flair.
But and that doesn't play
what it is. He's old. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, it's Flair. He's probably going to bang out a couple 18, 19, 20-year-olds over the weekend. It's just the way it is. It's Flair. I don't understand. Like, again, he's just, any consensual adults out there want to hang out with an old guy? It's gross, but hey, go ahead. They got old balls.
But it doesn't play in 2023. And like I said, to me, the biggest thing is, if I'm Tony Khan, I don't need extra headaches.
Again, I don't think anybody, Ric Flair or Tony Khan, felt like, oh, that's really egregious. Like, I don't
Clearly, Ric Flair did. He made a whole fucking statement and a tweet about it. And everything.
No. He didn't think it was egregious.
Not say that no one felt that way about it.
No. He didn't think saying it was egregious. His boss didn't think saying it was egregious. You're talking about after the fact. Yes, after the fact, he saw the response and said what he said. But going into saying it, he didn't give a fuck. He's been saying it for 50 years.
That's the whole thing with Ric Flair, though. That's also the benefit and that's the benefit and the detriment to Ric Flair is he doesn't give a fuck. But that's the thing, is to say that this has no legs to it, that no one felt some type of way about this, that the man put a whole statement out about this.
Well, basically saying if everyone's going to freak out and I'm embarrassing the company, I'll leave. But and then people come out and say, don't listen to that shit. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it just
95% of who came out and said that were people like in the company.
Now you're doing the no. I don't prescribe to that. But at the end of the day, I mean, fuck. I mean, it's Ric Flair. What did we expect him to do? People are so fucking soft and quick to fucking get upset about nothing. Like, he didn't do anything egregious. He invited some fucking young ladies back to his room. That's his gimmick. That's his persona.
Right, but I'm not super upset about it. I'm just saying I don't need that on my TV. If I'm Tony Khan, then we don't need to do that. I've already got enough shit going on. Enough
Yes,
shit.
but you got,
I don't
like
need to
I
worry
said,
about that.
just remember that's specifically what Tony Khan and everybody since wee hours of the fucking mid-decade have been paying Ric Flair to do. Be Ric
Right,
Flair.
but clearly, as we talked about earlier, clearly WWE didn't want to pay him to do that shit. So that might have already been a warning sign.
I mean, again,
hey, Hunter, your guy, your former stablemate's the head of the company now. Your chief content creator and whatever the fucking title is, COO, whatever. It feels you can have that.
I don't even know if that was
what I'm mad at.
Again, I don't even think that we can't speak to that at all. We don't know the facts behind that. I think at the end of the day, the fact that he's 74 years old, he's been moved past, he's had some hiccups on his fucking record. I mean, again, the one does not correlate to the other for me. At the end of the day, Ric Flair should be retired, but Tony Khan paid him to be Ric Flair. He didn't say anything offensive. He didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything inappropriate. He is a wrestler cutting a wrestling.
Why they cut it?
What?
So then why they cut it?
Because they bail under Twitter pressure as he has before. He changes matches for Twitter pressure. He moves things around for Twitter pressure. And the minute the tweeter people are all fucking up in arms about something, Tony acts like a bitch and changes everything up. He signed the man. He should stand behind that man. He should come out and say, listen, ladies and gentlemen, some people might not like it, but I signed this man. He's a legend. Period, and leave it in, because he didn't say anything egregious.
So the same guy that we were already worried and didn't want him around more than that evening, when he was the gift to Sting, as we've got Statlander and so on backstage, but the guy that we wanted that didn't even want past that night as the gift for Sting. Now he can just be Ric Flair. And I get that's 100% a Ric Flair statement, and I get that. I'm not all for like, I don't want to be done with this man, everything. I just don't need to see this shit anymore on my TV. I already didn't like it on my TV.
That's not a Ric Flair problem.
Seeing it on my TV.
That's a Tony Khan issue, not a Ric Flair issue. Ric Flair got paid to be Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's
either way, it's a problem.
Tony paid handsomely for that problem, and he will for the next few years. So it's an interesting one. What's he going to be like when he's 70? Whatever he is now. What the fuck? How old is Ric Flair?
74.
Yeah, so 70, I was close. 75, 76, 77. You got Ric Flair for a couple years, my guy. Like, that's what you signed up for. The styling, profiling, doesn't matter if he's 26, 86, or fucking 106. That's Ric Flair. And again, out of his mouth, I didn't get it. I don't get it.
Speaking of don't get, I got Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, and Takeshita versus Team Chop Squad. I can't name you a single person they're facing.
Oh, I see. But this heel turn fake out with Blue is confusing and tiresome at this point. Real, I like that, man. I appreciate you, Real. And I agree. I don't much care for what the fuck's happening with Sky Blue.
I don't think it's a fake out. I think she's going to be heel.
But then she should have just done it. Instead of, I'm a heel. Nope. I saved the baby face. Nope, I'm not. Maybe I am.
What is AEW booking though? Like, that's the thing, is we want everything to be perfect with this shit. It's been flawed the whole time,
right? Yeah.
Literally, I couldn't even figure out and try and look up or guess who they were facing by the time they lost.
No, they just destroyed them, and now they're calling up the Golden Jets, which, I mean, I don't know how I feel. Camille gave NWA notice January 1st, free agent. Yes. Be very interesting what happens with Camille.
Right.
The booing is crazy right now. Sting wanted Flair to be there for his final match. Fact.
Agreed, Scott. And by the way, shout out to, we do have the super chats, the super stickers, everything like that. But you could have them as a gift, and then you have it in Greensboro, North Carolina, because just so happens we're having Revolution in Greensboro, North Carolina, as we've had getting Ric Flair up and down our fucking television.
Listen, Tony Khan knew or knows the tickets aren't selling. So this is a way in Greensboro Sting's last match. Ric Flair is going to be there. That's going to sell some tickets.
Right. But I think all in all, with all of this, it shows to me the reason WWE, he wasn't under a Legends contract with WWE and could sign with AEW is because of the risk of, regardless of how you feel about this, the fact that this became an issue was bound to happen with Ric Flair.
But again, yeah, maybe, I guess. But if he had fucked up, but he didn't fuck up in my standards.
Like I said, though, regard of how you feel about
that's not fair to Flair. He signed on, and I don't think he did anything.
Right, but
wrong.
If you don't think he fucked up, that doesn't mean that you're the only one that does it, that thinks that. Like,
I agree, but I know there are others that do. I know others
that's fair, but there's also others that think he fucked up, and WWE would rather not take the gamble.
Yeah, but I don't think that they weren't utilizing. I don't think one has anything to do with the other, to be 100% honest with you, my guy. And neither one of us can clarify or verify that. So, yeah,
I mean, a Legends contract, nothing like that.
Ric Flair went. Wait,
time out. We're doing that with this person.
So Ric Flair goes to WWE and says, "I have an opportunity to go work over here," and they go, "Yeah, you know what? We love you. Have fun. Bye." Even before Trips was involved, this was a McMahon thing originally. And so he goes. Like, I don't think they were like, we got to get rid of Ric Flair. We got to, like, they brought the.
I wasn't saying anyone was saying they need to get rid of Ric Flair. I'm just saying they knew the fucking risk benefit with it.
Maybe. We don't know. Neither one of us can speak to that.
Fair enough, but I can assume.
Yeah, and well, you know where that goes.
I know.
But yeah, no, I think
I got Anna Jay out here right now.
Yeah, so Anna Jay, an honorary member of the Outcast now. They gave her a jacket, I think. Maybe.
No, she's just wearing a leather jacket.
She's just hanging out. Fair enough.
She's there.
Don Gorbachev.
She doesn't even look comfortable with the Outcasts.
Ric Flair on a pole match. No Prince Nana, 0 to 10. Boston, I appreciate that. Here comes Hickory.
Sorry, is it weird that the Outcasts are still a thing now that Tony Storm's disbanded and we really haven't had much with them going forward?
I thought they were going to just disband and not be anything. Now we got Saraya in matches again, like on a Rampage. Again, another example of like a name value that you could have tried to do something better with, and you turned that into a completely wet fart and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, remember, we got a tepid reaction at least for even Destination Unknown, Ruby Soho.
Here comes Wagon Blue.
Well, I've got Hickory Sticka.
Hickory Sticka.
Yeah, now I've got the skies are ever blue.
This is getting even better. 10 out of 10, no bucks.
Yes.
Anna Jay is somebody I would like to see get more of an opportunity. I think that's a lady that would benefit huge by going to NXT. And speaking of somebody that would benefit from NXT, Chris Statlander's here.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to just say Sky Blue gets more than 2 gorilla thumbs up.
Right. Now, is it just my imagination, or has it been like trios match?
Oh, this whole match is like, how can we get everyone on this motherfucking card?
The end of the month, bro. They got to get everyone's quota in.
Everybody's got to get that pension.
The first of the month. Wake up.
It's the first of the month.
Right? Shit.
It's the 1st and the 5th. That's how you know always Tony's going to be extra booking them fucking cards.
I mean, I kind of feel like Shida and group have to win this, right? Right?
Well, so for those who don't know, we've got Anna Jay, Ruby Soho, and Saraya versus Hikaru Shida, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander, and I'm going Team Babyface.
Pause.
Well, can you even call them Babyface? Because I still think Sky Blue is going to be a heel. I just don't think she's a heel in this match. Shida's arguably one of your top contenders for the women's division. Statlander, to me, I think should be your top contender for the women's division after she's lost the TBS title.
Yeah. Hey, remember Saraya as world champ not so long ago? Listen, I'm still mad what happened there because they could have done it for Tony Storm in that situation, and they did it for Saraya, which made no sense because you had Saraya build as a heel that got the big happy family moment. Didn't make any sense.
Bro, I'm waiting for the time that Tony signs her brother because he's now, I guess, allegedly, according to her Twitter, like moved over to the US and everything. I'm just waiting. He passes the tree outs and everything.
I heard the rumor was that Tony agreed to at least give him some matches. I believe that was part of the deal. Big Sis got him signed to a couple dark matches, and let's see how it goes.
Respectfully, how much of a bitch main move is that?
You're not wrong. Bash and Berlin Gunther might win a major title there. That'd be excellent.
Do us.
That should be the theme for it.
Do us. Don't threaten Hunter with that.
Don't threaten Hunter with a good time. Sky Blue is distracting. Absolutely.
It's amazing how much the sky and how blue it is. It's just distracting.
And it's ironic.
Look at that puffy cloud or that puffy wagon and everything. That looks like a wagon. That looks like a cake.
Oh. Kick in the face. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I had a huge crush on Paige for years. I mean, she's not lacking in the looks department at all.
So you heard her go, Paige here.
Paige here.
The Paige here.
That come out of your mouth?
Both.
Is Team Sky Blue for the win? There you go. In a really good way. Yeah, I get you, my guy. I got the team.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever team.
All the teams.
KJ, it's for love of the money. Gotta get money, man, to stay right.
First you get the money, then you get the power. Then you get
Wake up.
It's the first of the month.
No, they should keep the Outcasts and enjoy Anna Jay looks good with them. Interesting.
Paul, literally, that's when he had a Freudian slip there. Instead of Anna Jay, he said in Anna Joy.
And a joy to the world.
La 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 la.
Soraya Statlander, Sheeta on Rampage to enhance the quality of the show. It's not working. Same thing NXT did with no,
my guy.
No,
You can just do that. No.
No, bro.
No. My guy. Respect. You tried.
Come on, bro.
No. Name me anybody on the roster in AEW that you're going to put there and say Taker and comparable? Yeah. No.
Yeah, no.
Out of that group, no.
Come on now. Yeah, again, it is what it is. And if you're gonna use them to highlight a show or make the show more desirable to watch, put them in compelling stuff. These trios matches are killing me.
I was gonna say, break that down. I just want to hear someone try and break that down right now.
You know, Soraya, Undertaker, Ruby.
Very comparable. Both main event and WrestleManias. One's got a streak. The other's been probably filmed streaking. You don't know.
Well, yeah, we do. Randy.
One's been in a hardcore triple threat match.
Randy did the right thing for. Yeah, no, it was beautiful. Beautiful. How did you like it?
Oh, I 100%. Like I said, this Randy Orton has Tourette's with RKO. Just if you don't creep up behind, if you're ever asking Randy for a picture or an autograph, just approach him from the side or frontwards. Don't approach him from behind it. You might
like a horse.
Like a horse. I don't know where. It's an instinctual reflex.
Everybody gets a match.
And apparently everyone's a star.
Listen, right now, Anna Jay would be in the mix on NXT. Ruby Soho would be in the mix on NXT. Like in the floating mix.
Ruby would be SmackDown, probably in a tag match, something like that. She's middle of the mix on a main card. Anna Jay's NXT. Okay. Going back to that whole comment though with Taker and everything, like even then, still Taker showed up for 30 seconds at most. He hit a choke slam, a tombstone, and raised his fist, and that was it. And that's the fucking deal breaker. But
what's up, Ben?
No, most of these people in this match right now, respectfully, or an NXT or a mid-card WWE.
Yeah, but
Even
that's what I mean, like,
Soraya's mid-card right now, I would say in
you
WWE.
name me one woman wrestling in AEW right now that could transition to the WWE main roster and compete for a title.
Britt Baker.
I don't even think she can.
Really?
She's not at the level. If you rank the top 10 women in WWE, Britt doesn't make the top 10.
She could talk herself into it. She could 100% talk herself into it.
She's probably the closest, and we haven't seen her all year, as she pointed out.
Fair enough.
Like, I hate her. Tony Storm's getting there. But, like, to walk in and go right to the top, I think it's a challenge. I think there's a murderer's row of women in WWE right now on both shows that, again, when you're being objective, you see it.
Well, like I said, they started off with, initially it seemed like you only had your one North Star with Roman Reigns, and now we've gotten more stars built up than the Milky Way.
Oh, right. Scott saying he was in the building. He can't make the prediction. Fair enough.
So let us know your take on the Ric Flair promo. How bad was it? What was the reaction in the arena?
You know what the best part of this match is, and the most talked about thing in this match?
Us?
No, that lady. This lady's back end. Sky Blue's back end is the most talked about thing in this entire match. When you go online, it's going to be pictures of her.
It's not women's wrestling; it's the women's wagons division. You're just out here, just straight perving on booty cheeks, is what you're doing.
Right. I like that.
Sky Blue picks up the win. Like I said, the Wagoneer.
Right.
Canyon Arrow.
Not at all big names on supplementary shows happens to in both companies. Yeah, except your supplementary show just had the big names go under.
Hey, if that's a supplemental draft, my guy, like, fuck, you done lost.
Ronnie, is it not Austin has 3? No.
What?
Is Austin the only one that has 3
Rumble wins?
Or am I wrong?
I know he at least has 2. I don't know if he has a third. I don't know if there's a.
Michaels doesn't have 3.
He has 3?
No, Michaels doesn't. I don't think. I think he has 2.
Michaels is more one of those. He's known for being one of the few that came from the number 1 spot.
Did Roman win 3?
No. Roman's won 1. I think he's been featured in 3.
I think he won 2.
Like, I'll be hard pressed, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anyone's won more than 2. I think Austin holds record for most 1.
I think the record is 3, is it not?
I could be wrong.
Fact checkers.
Sean, I know Sean and Rick both hold a record for coming from number 1 to the end. I think Jericho still holds the record for the longest time in a Royal Rumble. Again, they won't talk about that. They won't mention it.
I feel like they might have either got close to or have tried to beat out Jericho, like erase that record.
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do with the IC match with Gunther and The Miz there, of how I still vaguely remember that they mentioned Jericho, and then I feel like everybody just was like, we don't talk about that right now.
Right. Do you think Jericho will ever return to WWE to put in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I really a decade from now, maybe.
No.
But I don't know, man. I don't
that think so. Happens, and it'll be one of those of, oh my God, they finally did it type of moments. That's not even a decade. Like, I even half chuckled there when the idea was thrown up. Like, Chris Jericho, I've been on record with everybody talking about, oh, well, Starks is going to go over to WWE, Garcia is going to go over to WWE. Well, maybe we'll bring back other former WWE guys over, and everything. And somebody mentioned Jericho. I was like, I would pay Tony Khan to keep Chris Jericho.
People have to remember that Jericho's 56, 54. 58.
Don't worry. Well, say that one more time in case he doesn't even hear that, because I don't
Right.
think he realizes that.
But I believe he signed for another 7-8 years. Like he signed a multi-year contract, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I believe he's signed till 2027.
Jesus Christ. Aldis versus Randy at
Which one
WrestleMania.
lasts longer, Jericho's contract or the company?
Ooh. I hope the company lasts longer. I really do.
We'll see. We'll see.
I hope him on that one.
Right.
WWE will be in Cardiff, Birmingham, London, and Belfast in 2024. Oh, I thought it was like, yeah, probably. I don't see why not.
Those aren't Hogwarts houses.
Paige? Yeah, what's wrong with Paige?
I turned the page.
Right. I got Orton versus Roman at Mania.
I
don't know,
Rumble.
man. What's
Rumble.
that?
I was just saying I got a Rumble.
Rumble makes sense. I like Rumble. If Britt comes out on WWE event, about 35% of the crowd maybe knows who she is. 100%. That's fact.
I disagree.
You think more people
I can see the stance, but I disagree.
You think more or less people would know who she is?
More.
Oh, I don't think so. 35, I think, is generous.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Again, she hasn't been relevant on AEW for a long time.
Adam Cole, baby.
What does that got to do with Britt Baker? Hey.
Talent. Is this where you go the AJ Lee of, talent can't be sexually transmitted?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I think there's talent there. I think she could climb the ladder. I just don't think she walks in like a Jade. And even Jade, look what they have to do with her. They're like, she's gonna take a little work.
Less pampering, or I don't want to say pampering, but you have to do less training with Britt. Britt walks in and I think walks into at least your main event scene on NXT, if not a mid card. I wouldn't even put it there. You keep her main event scene on NXT. A Britt Baker versus Roxanne Perez on NXT.
Yeah, that works. I mean, I'm good with that. And Britt can wrestle. But again, she had some clunky matches, and I feel like the AEW faithful had spent a lot of time that every time Britt had a bad match, they blamed who Britt wrestled.
A la Taya Valkyrie.
Thunder Rosa. Yeah, a few.
Facts.
I think Randy ties Austin. Thank you. People who look at everything through WWE colored glasses never see anyone in AEW as big stars. They're not. We're just being honest. Anybody that sees things through AEW glasses don't realize they're not at the same level. There's people that have notoriety, MJF, but if you walked to if you took a WWE star and an AEW star and walked them through the airport, who would have the bigger line? Who would more people go, holy shit, that's so-and-so? That's it. That's all we're saying.
And to me, it's not even they don't have the caliber to be there. It's on the presentation.
True. And the overall numbers, guys. Like, no offense, but you got to add up the AEW shows to equal one of the Raw show or one of the WWE shows at times. They're filling buildings. I just saw the report before I came live tonight. They've moved something like, I don't know, what was it, 1,800 tickets to the next show, next week's Dynamite. Like, it's not the same animal. And no offense, AEW's learning, growing. They're just not there, guys.
But that's the thing, is your arms are just a little too small to box with God. But again, ratings don't matter until, Dynamite beats SmackDown, or Rampage and Collision beats SmackDown. That was on FS1. And that's all of a sudden, now ratings matter like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Until the whole time you were getting smashed over the head with that.
We got the match kicking off, by the way. The Workhorsemen with El Vikingo, because that. Oh, sorry, no. We got the Workhorsemen.
Why does Brian Cage constantly look like a creator wrestler in WCW versus NWO Revenge? He's got the fucking Wolverine logo on one side of his pants. He's got a Sting logo on the other.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Bryan's a star, but again, I find it very interesting if you want to use examples like Daniel Bryan and Edge, because we all know where they became stars, and that's where people, hey, you're the WWE guy. They don't say, hey, you're the AEW guy. When was it? Again, same thing. Like with me covering wrestling, if I go to work or if I go out and I'm like, yeah, I do a wrestling podcast. You're like, oh, WWE. No one ever looks at me and says, oh, AEW. They're
Right.
just not there yet. It's not hate. It's just being honest, guys. They're working towards it.
Right. As Vikingo with an
Yes.
inside roll, Hurricane Rana here. But so next week on Rampage, or on Dynamite, sorry, we're getting Timeless Tony Storm versus Sky Blue. And we're also allegedly going to get Christian versus, again, speaking of WWE versus AEW, Adam Copeland, the man that ratings ran away from.
Mm-hmm. I said nothing. The pop Edge got in at Wrestle Dream makes your comment laughable that he's not a star anymore. Guys, he got a pop in the live crowd in front of what, 2,000 people? Let's be real, guys. Real, honestly. You make your name real, but nothing you're saying is actual in reality. And no offense. Go ahead, Nick.
Sorry. I was going to say, I literally just mentioned about how the ratings have gone down since Adam Copeland's shown up on AEW and everything. So what's your response to that? We're going from 800,000 is the debut of Adam Copeland on AEW when he's doing 1.800,000 million on WWE. Fuck is we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got triple tope.
Well, one got caught.
Oh, get Vikingo.
Yeah.
Got caught in the spider web. Man got caught in the fly trap.
Right. Austin, 3 wins. Rumble Reigns, 2. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Thank you.
There we go.
We'll skip that. Jericho, 4 more years. Yeah, I mean, he's got time. And again, my curiosity would be Jericho's ego. You guys got to remember, if Jericho leaves Tony Khan's side, he no longer has the control on his booking and his treatment that he does. Like, Tony Khan loves Jericho. Triple H won't treat Jericho the way Khan does.
Does Triple H sign Jericho?
Yeah.
Beyond.
Wait, what was the question?
Well, you were talking about if Jericho left Tony Khan's side. I said, does Triple H sign Jericho?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He might bring him in to
be a one-off. Be a Hall of Fame and you fucking walk off.
Yeah, it would be something like that. Like, like part of why Edge left was the WWE said, hey, you're a special attraction now. You're going to work 5, 6, 6 matches a year, and that's all we need you for. You're minimized. And Edge didn't like that. He wasn't ready. I think Jericho's in the same way of like, wait a minute, I could still go, and Tony Khan will give him the money to keep, destroying ratings on his weekly show.
AEW respectfully is built on guys. It's a roster of guys that don't want to admit that they're on the back nine or that maybe they should hang it up. And you've got a lot of guys that bet on themselves and really hoping that their bet pays off on that investment.
Yeah.
Swerve's an example. Kingston's an example. But you've also got, like you said, Adam Copeland, Jericho, guys that Matt Hardy's a great example of guys that maybe no.
Yeah, your time has come. This one I just want to address real quick about the ratings. WWE ratings have fallen dramatically over the last few years. So here's the thing about the ratings. And again, I think Nick touched on it nicely earlier. We've said it before that you cannot, again, it's hard to take the ratings, and I hate talking about them, but really until AEW came along and guys like Jericho and Tony started bragging about ratings in the beginning, it wasn't really a thing of topic. There wasn't websites dedicated to where everybody was trying to, they might have been there, but nobody
was not a thing, was not a known thing in the wrestling universe until one Christopher Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, they made a big deal of it on the AEW side. What the ratings do for me is they show me where you're at each week. And if Monday Night Football or Raw can get so many people, that means those people are available for everybody. So it's a good litmus test to see where you're at. So yeah, Raw and SmackDown have fallen off over the years, but Tony has never even really peaked with his ratings. Like there's at least 3 million wrestling fans out there that you can tag onto, and you don't. You're stuck at 800,000. And after 4 years, to me as a fan of AEW, that's the gather for me. I want to see you hitting 1 million viewers every week. You give people, when people tune in, they tune out. That drop off from start to finish is brutal.
Well, and that's why it's interesting to me the most, is because even when I joined the channel and everything, for the longest time, Dynamite was week in and week out viewed, voted best show of the week and everything like that. And now at this point, we're, I think, going on almost 40 weeks before AEW's cracked 1 million viewers across the board. So we're almost reaching a full year to where AEW has not cracked 1 million viewers. But we want to talk about WWE numbers are coming down when Monday Night Raw just had a guy that AEW fired that did its highest rated views since the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I will explain this nicely for my friend Rio and anybody else that feels this way. I started doing wrestling blogging because I was a fan of AEW and I hated all the slack it was getting. I thought in the beginning when it was hot and there was just people like Cornette that couldn't see any good in it. It pushed me to come on here and have a voice. And that is what I still have in all of this. And as I've watched the decline of AEW, lower ticket sales, lower ratings, I've watched WWE have record after record. They have a record 2023. And if you think they're slowing down, they just signed the biggest name in wrestling, and 2024 is off to a fiery start already. Just enjoy it. And if you don't like WWE, that's fine. But be realistic. Don't spit things like they're facts and they're not.
Right. Coupe de Gracie onto Brian Cage for a 2 count, and Cage is busted open. But again, that goes to my point of with a lot of people that claim that they're pro wrestling fans and, oh, I'm an AEW fan because I just like pro wrestling. No, you just are anti WWE, and you just really, you're not viewing it as, we're in a wrestling boom period across the board. The fact that we're even having this conversation, the fact that we're up here and able to sit there and talk about this, 1 million of views here versus 1 million of views here and everything like that, just shows what's going on. And regardless of how you view what we're saying with AEW, we just want it to be better. We don't want AEW to go out of business, because then there is no WWE boom, there is no Impact boom, no nothing.
Yep.
We just want them to hold their weight.
Everybody flying around. Wow.
Right.
If there were stars on AEWs, the numbers would show that. And again, yeah, but I think the biggest problem, Keyshawn, is the storytelling. And you need stories that pay off in the wrestling. And again, you can book all the great matches you want, but if people don't care, they're not going to tune in.
Well, you get a selective audience. You get to what made Ring of Honor what it was is because you didn't have, well, I'll say this in jest of, you didn't have well-known stories, but you had amazing matches. And if that's where AEW goes, that's where AEW goes. But don't act like then you're, boxing with God here. That's the thing. If you're going to stay in your lane, stay in your lane. Don't don't cross both lanes, because that's how you get hit in traffic.
Yeah, and Cage just walks out on the Workhorseman, doesn't like him, and we're going for the win.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Why mid-match? Like, I'm sick of this. You can have that. Like, at least finish out the match, you asshole.
I've been saying this for years now. AEW is a glorified indie show. with a big budget, that's not a problem. The problem is that they want me to spend big money on watch pay-per-views, and they think they are WWE comp. Well, yeah, I think it's that is what bothered me. Like, I listened to
shit.
Yeah, we knew this was gonna happen.
Commander with a walk, moonsault, dive on the outside. Now I've got Vikingo with the how many rotations can I fit in one move?
It's funny. But yeah, I mean, that's it for me too. And you're not wrong, Boston. It's greater than that, though. I listened to Jericho's Talk is Jericho. I liked it. I loved when all the WWE guys were quitting and then going on to Jericho's podcast to talk shit. But then Jericho's podcast became, I'm going to tell you how great I am. No matter what you witness with your eyes, I'm going to tell you how amazing it was. And you're an idiot if you don't think it's amazing. And I think that's where a lot of fans drew the line, was this idea. And I can't believe that was the main event. I'm so glad Star Wars is here.
What was it? Money. Wow, can you believe Brian Cage turned on his lifelong friends and countrymen, the workhorsemen, like that? I'm shocked and appalled. Travesty, a controversy. But that's the thing, is literally respectfully, and I do say this respectfully, with like Chris Jericho and like you were saying there of, look at how great I am. No, as much as how much I've watched wrestling, how much I'm a fan and everything like that, and I guess doing what we do with the effort I put into it, I can tell you, Chris, no, sometimes you fucking suck. You suck pond water. And the fact that you want to act like I'm belligerent and I have no idea what I'm talking about with that just shows me your ignorance versus mine.
Yeah. And again, like I said, for me, Nick, I mean, here's a perfect example. You and I just debated the Ric Flair situation. And if I hated the AEW, I just roll on them and join everybody else and, light my pitchforks and light my torches.
Get out of my swamp.
Right? Like, it's so easy just to jump on it. But in my humble opinion, I don't see it that way. So, I mean, here I am defending AEW. At the end of the day, you got to kind of be open to that and enjoy the wrestling. To watch WWE each week and not find anything decent, fair enough. It's not your cup of tea. But then you can't get mad. And it's that boisterous thing of, if you don't like what I like, you're stupid. And that's not valid. It's not accurate. And it's not fair.
Well, and ultimately with this, and I'll even caveat it with what we were talking about there with the Ric Flair and everything, is at the end of the day, when you get tribalistic about shit, there's no room for discussion. At the end of the day, love it or hate it, even between us in the chat, regardless around whichever way you want to phrase it, we have a discussion about everything and every aspect about it.
Yeah. And to your point earlier, Tony Khan clearly listens to the internet, listens to the fan base, listens to the message boards, listens to the Meltzers.
He was born of it.
If you are a diehard AEW fan, you love AEW, you watch every minute, you go to the shows, you buy the merch, do you not think it would be best if you were honest? If the people around Tony Khan were honest about what is happening on the show, why the numbers aren't moving, why ticket sales are going down? If you could be honest, and the more vocal you are about your discontent with the booking and the overall presentation, you will get a better show.
I will source you Jim Jones and Flavor Aid and say honesty does not always exist in certain environments like that.
Yeah. I agree, KJ. You're not growing your fans. You are not going to be successful, especially when you are giving such a huge contract to a lot of wrestlers. That is one thing that came out today or yesterday. I think it was today. Was all the revenue numbers. They made between like 175 and 190 million. I don't care about the money side of things, but reporting the revenue means nothing. Reporting their gross means nothing. What are they netting? Because if he made $175 million, but spent $250 million, it's not going so well.
That's 100%, my guy. 100%. As soon as I saw that, I was like, my guy's going to be running the same path here with me. Cool. Jesus. You're showing me the gross on your paycheck. Cool. Show me the net. Show me what you actually took home. Fuck the gross. Show me the net.
Yeah. I'll show you my paycheck, but you want to see it
I can
before
show
or
you the
after
pay
the taxes?
but fuck all that net pay.
Right. I'm in picture again. Yeah, I'm way behind apparently. I wish it wasn't Dale. All right.
Here, I got Boston. Let me ask you this, boys. If Jericho's music hit on Raw next week and it came out, would you pop?
I'd shit a cat.
No.
I'd shit a cat.
I harumph.
Just wrong.
I literally, my fucking green screen even timed out on that. It just said, bah humbug. No.
You would definitely get an oh my god, what the fuck? I don't think you would get the pop like you just saw with Punk.
You get
saw
curiosity out the gate, and then that would be the sentiment beyond that.
Yeah, I mean the same thing. Like I popped huge for Adam Copeland. I know you did too. So those people elicit a big. I feel so negative about Jericho. I'll be honest. I feel so negative about Jericho. If he showed up on WWE, I would groan out loud.
Fair enough. Well, no, I saw one and I was like, I want to get to this.
All right.
Send your buddy Real. It's just hilarious to me that people can find 90% of the stuff on WWE programming as high level riveting storytelling or in-ring action. Counterpoint with your 90% on AEW, but we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it goes either way. And I mean, again, there's flaws in WWE. I talked about the flaws of, some of the things they've done wrong, some of the wrestlers I don't like, some of the missed pushes. We were here being very critical of how they fucked up Karrion Kross, especially during the end of Vince McMahon's run, where Vince clearly did not give two fucks about what he was putting out on TV. Go back and watch those shows. We cut it all up. And again, I think I think a lot of the AEW fans internalize of like, WWE can do anything and we can't do nothing. Like, I get it. It's like little brother syndrome. But at the end of the day, I feel like both fan bases, that hardcore tribe on both sides, are guilty of it. I just watched Rampage and I thought it was terrible. That main event was fucking atrocious. It was all over the place. It was a mess. But you might think it was great. I mean, that's it. The 90% of the fans that like it, period.
You can like AEW, but you also respectfully, unless you're delusional, cannot deny that WWE is playing ball right now.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Can you live stream Wrestle Revolver season finale tomorrow as well, KJ and Nick? Damien, I'll be 100% honest with you. That might have been a little bit of an oversight on my part. I'm going to look into it, and I have a feeling that it will definitely be part of the broadcast if we are, we'll be here for Collision. So I don't see why we wouldn't cover that tomorrow. That's going to be a pretty big deal.
We'll try.
Nick, I agree with you. I'd be bummed by it. I'd be shocked, but like the fuck.
Right. Yeah. What?
Tribute to the Troops next Friday as well. Show Smackdown Rampage. Yeah, we're going to be here for both of those. It's going to be fun. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I thought SmackDown was decent tonight. I thought Rampage was Rampage. And I enjoyed the friendly debate and conversation with everybody out there. Nick and I are going to pack it up, go home, and get ready for tomorrow. But we thank everybody for being here. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Remember, a Wrestling for Life t-shirt is a great gift for the Christmas season. Plus, we got hoodies and so much more, and we got more in the works. So thank you. And that's all I got tonight, Nick.
100% is the season of giving. So 100% the best thing you can give is some Wrestling for Life to anybody, whether it be gifting a sub, just letting them know about us, whether it's a t-shirt, anything like that. But our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is clearly authentic when you're talking about the wrestling, but I bet that for life with it.
See you on the flip side, folks. Come back tomorrow. We don't stop.